T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, no, y'all can't see me. Little Mama is doing what Little Mama does. She is taking front and center because, you know, it is all about the Little Mama. This is the Little Mama channel. I am the co-host, One Salty Beach. Say hi, Ma. Say hi, little Ma. That's the good girl. Okay, so let's kick it off with a little roll call. Excuse me, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, let's see who we see here. Pix is hypnotized by fries. I'm fighting with my internet again. They physically came out and replaced the line yesterday. It should be working. Lord have mercy. Don't you hate it when that happens, girl? See, you nicer than me. I would have done been calling somebody and acting a fool. Leanie Bo, hello, darling. Grateful Life, good to see you. Hello, Miss Blondie. How are you? Thank you so much. Hi, Sigma. Good to see you, sweetheart. Hi, Tarman, my favorite, my all-time favorite zombie. Hello, Nora. Hi, Enola. Everyone, I don't know I didn't know that you were going live. I have to dip and come back in 30 minutes. I'll have to catch up. That's totally fine, honey. You know it's going to be here when you get back. Let's see. Doing all right, Tarman. It actually hasn't been a terrible day. Let's see. Yeah, I know. Just what you always wanted. Mama Booty front and center in the camera, right? Hi, Yazzie. Good to see you, dear. Hello there, Pink Cactus. How are you? Miss Lady. Miss Lady. Are we going to be able to make some sort of arrangement here? Can we work out some sort of arrangement, you know, where you pick a spot and you settle for a bit? I know you're not complaining at me right now because you're hungry. I just fed you. You're just being an attention hog. Just being an attention hog. Oh. So. Hi, Gail. Good to see you, sweetie. Sorry about that, y'all. Y'all know how it is. Every single time I come in here and I get settled in to do anything, and Miss Lady right here got to get right up, face long into the camera, taking up all kind of room, just staring at whatever's on the screen. She's just a mess. So my day hadn't been too bad. Spent some of it with my dad, taking care of some stuff here that me and him needed to sort out for my property insurance. Got a few things to edit, but I hope you have a good day and stream. Salty and Jet. All right, Tarman. Good to see you, sweetheart. I'm glad you were able to stop in for a minute. Yay, she got it. Oh, she always wants attention, Yazzie. She's a little bit of that one that if she ain't the center of attention, then everybody in the room's got a problem. So, you know, I've just kind of gotten used to that. And it wasn't a terrible day. You know, we kind of ran all over the place, and then I ended up dropping him back at his place on the other side of the bridge. And he was like, yeah, we're going to go up the road up here to this restaurant for dinner. And I said, I don't know if I'm really up to it. I'm like, I'm not really feeling too good. I'm like, I've got a really bad headache or whatever. basically just kind of bowing out because I really don't. Number one, I don't really have anything to talk to my dad's new wife about. I don't really have much of an interest in getting to know her. And every time he does come over here and he talks about dinner, then that's what he's wanting to do, is he is wanting me to have to spend time with her, even though I have no desire to, and that make me sound like a bratty child, but that's just my position on it. And I pretty much told him that a long time ago, that I had no interest in knowing in being friends with her or whatever. But for some reason, I still end up in that predicament. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna bow out. I'm just gonna handle it like an adult and just not even, especially since I spent all day with him. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I'm really not feeling up to it. And then I bebop my sorry behind back to the house. So I took care of some stuff here. It's always about the kitten, and when it's not about the kitten, it's even more about the kitten. Exactly. And I love them. They know I love them. I spoil the hell out of them, but it's always at the most inopportune times, if you know what I mean. And that's the thing. It's like, if I'm sitting there and even if I'm just like sitting on the couch and I'm watching something on YouTube or whatever, and they could have my full undivided attention, then they don't want anything to do with me. But when I'm doing something that actually requires me to have some sort of focus, then front and center, you will pay attention to me, So I know, but of my parents, my dad was always the one to try to impose a position upon us as kids. My brother, he's very easy to do that with, because he's one of those, I'm going to go along to get along, especially where my dad is concerned. And me, I am just at a place, and have been for a little while now, that I'm not fixing to compromise my peace and have to deal with somebody that I don't want to deal with, or be in a situation that I don't want to be in, and I've actually told him that specifically, and he's still he tries to do it like in a nice way instead of forcing the issue, but it's still like, now you already know my position on all this. Why you keep doing that? It's like, come on. You do not ever have to placate someone in place of your mental or emotional stability and future in question. I agree. And that is wholeheartedly how I'm living life these days. I mean, no offense to my dad, but, I feel a kind of way about the fact that, he was dating this woman 6 months after my mom passed away. And a year later, a year after, he was married to this new woman who he barely knew, I feel a kind of way about it. I kind of can't help it. I'm terrified that she is going to just fuck his world up. You know what I'm saying? So no, I'm not fixing to be friends with somebody that I don't feel like I can trust. And I don't feel like I can trust her. I don't feel like he can trust her. But, he's a grown man. You can't tell him nothing. So I'm just going to let him take his lumps when they come, because, again, can't tell nobody nothing. Yeah. See, and I know a lot of people go through this sort of stuff, but it is really difficult to not really have anybody to talk to about it. And that's kind of why I talk to you guys about it a little bit, because, like, again, my brother's the go along to get along. He doesn't ever question anything. And, my other two siblings, they have their own families. They have their own situations here, to deal with. They shouldn't have to hear me talk about dad every single time he comes over here, Or exactly, Sigma. It's like, nah, I think I'm going to pass. You don't have to compromise your sanity for the sake of entertaining others. I know. And that's exactly the position that I am at these days. You know what I mean? I'm just like, no, I'm not. I am not fixing to jeopardize my peace over something that I don't have to do that for, Um, Hi, Fawn. Good to see you. How are you, darling? Hello, Miss Debbie. How are you? Tragically delicious. Ever so fabulous to see you as always, darling. What is that picture of? So small, I can't see it. Hi, QZ. You don't have to have a relationship with her. Your dad should understand that he has people in his life that you don't know, just like you have people in his life that don't interact with him. Right. I agree. And but see, that's the deal though. He kind of has this, even though he hasn't flat out said it, but he has a level of expectation that we're just going to be this happy family. And he even actually said to me at one point, "Oh, your brother loves her." And I'm like, okay, cool. That's Daniel. I'm not Daniel. And I actually told him at one point, I'm like, bro, you could have married a serial killer, like a convicted serial killer who's known for killing men. I was like, and he would co-sign it just because that's what you wanted. I'm like, dude, that just my brother, y'all have met my brother. Those of y'all have been around for a while. Y'all have met my brother, my younger brother. He's been on lives, like 2 lives with me before. He is very chill. He is very laid back. He is very non-confrontational. So yeah, let's see. I'm in that position with my daughter, recently diagnosed with BPD, and at the moment we're in another crisis. God bless, girl. I don't know. Bless your heart. Thank you. That is my position on a lot of things lately. I saw it and I started laughing and I was like, yep, that's gotta go. It's gotta go home with me. I have been no contact with my mom for 20 plus years. Wow. I mean, I still talk to my dad, but I have never really had like a really close relationship with my dad. My mom was my person, and she was the one that always understood me. And me and my dad have just perpetually knocked heads since I was a child, and it has always been that way. So, I mean, now my mom died. He married this new woman. He went from being a non-practicing Catholic to being a baptized Baptist. And now all of a sudden he wants to be all buddy and how are things with you? And let's have dinner and let's hang out. And I'm just like looking at this whole situation like, who are you? I don't know. I don't know this I don't know this person, It says, I think F not you trick a bee. A giant fortune cookie. Doing great. Just got off work. Saw 6 deep tissue clients today, so I'm ready to chill. How was your day? Well, that's kind of what I was talking about. Is why I'm talking about my dad. I spent the day today with my dad taking care of stuff for my property insurance stuff. Facts. And I said that, in the nicest way humanly possible. What you mean? He has. Did I miss something, QZ? Let me see who we were talking to last picks. Yeah, I'm not around any blood relations since the late 19. Like, wow. See, I haven't gotten to that point yet. I mean, like, I'll still talk to him and all that stuff. But, ideally, I have taken a step back and taken some space for myself because I am... No. No, my younger brother, Daniel, he was on live with me twice. My dad would never get involved in any of this at all. That is just not his speed. Daniel, my little brother Daniel doesn't mind. He doesn't mind getting up, talking and all that stuff. My dad would just be like, he actually at one point he came over for something a while back, and I think I had the YouTube Underground playing on TV, and he was like, "Why are you watching a fat woman on TV?" I'm like, it's complicated. The little part of my mind is telling me that he just wants another body that is a woman in the house with him. That's kind of the position that I take on it, but because yeah, he snatched up the first one that gave him 2 seconds of attention. You know. You mentioned your brother has been on lives with you. I have to go back and look at your live to see him. Yeah, there was one, and on one of them I have mentioned where it says special guest. That's it's my brother that's in the live with me. I brought him in on that live because he happened to be down. It was the week of my birthday. And this was when Amber was doing that whole spiel about, I was in the radiology department and all these doctors were in there and and I called him in because that's what he does all day. He's a radiology tech. I mean, he works around, MRI, X-ray, CT, all that stuff. So I brought him in and camped his little behind out next to me. And I was like, bro, listen to some of this and tell me what you think. And he was like, he did not really know much about Girl World at all. I had to give him like a crash course, like before he came on. And then I was having to give him like additional info as we were talking. And he's done 2 labs with me. I'm sorry, some men can't be alone. Make rash decision. That's exactly what that is. And I'm going to tell you, part of what made me angry was that, honestly, I mean, it was like, bro, you and mom were together for 43 years and you're just going to act like that shit never happened. And I have I won't lie. There's been a lot of videos where I have talked about the things that are going on. Like the last video where I went home at Christmas, pretty much every bit of my mom is gone from that house. There are no pictures of her anywhere, no pictures of her and her and my dad together. The only items in that house that are anything of my mom are antiques or they're really nice stuff. And that's it. The rest of it's like she was never even in that house. It was fucking uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie, It absolutely is. It 100%. It 100% is. There has got to be some way to summarize it to make it where you can compact all this bullshit down to like a little bit of a cliff notes, if you know what I mean. Daniel was very comfortable on camera with us. I think he has fun. Well, that's the deal. Like he is very chatty. That's part of why I think he kind of fell into it so easily, because he has no problem whatsoever talking, especially if it's stuff that he knows a lot about. He has, we're pretty sure, I mean, he's never been formally diagnosed, but we're pretty sure he's on the spectrum somewhere. And if you get into a topic of conversation that he doesn't know anything about, he will kind of curl in a little bit, and then he'll find a way to change the subject to something that he is comfortable about so that he can talk with a full involvement in the subject. And that's the way he's always been. But since we were talking about, the situation with stuff that he doesn't work, yeah, he was all in on it, even though he didn't know anything about these 2 ladies. It absolutely is. It's just like, what I do is I tell people that it is like a trashy telenovela with fat chicks. That's kind of how I describe it. I just sent you a message that I meant to the other day when I dyed my hair versus when I first moved in here on Discord. You sent me a message. Was it in PM? Oh, I see what you're talking about. Your hair looks fabulous. And I like both of your glasses too. Speaking of, I probably should have mine on. I took them off to put my hoodie on and I sat them down and left them in the other room. Genius me. I don't know. I think that was that. Let's see. Yeah, that was it. I got it. Let's see. We got a bunch of stuff coming through here. Hi, Tangle Bliss. Good to see you, darling. How are you? Kimby. How are you, love? Good to see you, baby. Hello, Miss Heidi. How are you, sweetheart? That was pre-hair, but yeah, I was 350 pounds now. You look fabulous, girl. Fabulous. Hello, Miss Shelley. How are you? Give me 2 seconds because I'm having trouble reading. I gotta get my glasses. Ooh. It's okay. I wasn't gonna get you, silly boy. I swear, you act like I'm gonna eat you. Alrighty. Yeehaw. There we go. Praise the Lord. I can see y'all. All right. So, I tell you what. What do you say we get started on this bullshittery we done had going on the last couple of days? We might as well. So, yeah.
Okay, guys, so I just got home.
Shut up. Okay. So, woo, my neck is cold. Officially have a move-in day 13 to a new place. That's awesome. Way to go, Tangled. So, okay. We talked about this. Well, hey, Kalari, how are you, baby? Girl, by the way, you tickled me. I listened to your video earlier, and it pure tickled me. Talking about I ain't trying to get everybody to kumbaya. I about shot Coca-Cola out of my nose. I couldn't help it. Just the way you said it, tickled me to no end. There may be a new person to watch. Dropped into my feed a few minutes ago. Alice Undone. She appears to be at least 300 pounds sitting in laundry at her kitchen table with a mess in the background. Huh. Hang on. 1 second here. Oh, good gracious. Alice Undone. Oh, I see who you're talking about. Let's see. Holy moly. Well, but based on this right here, it looks like she is actually losing some weight, though. The time I got arrested. Oh, yeah, she is going to be. Yep. All right. Let me file that away because I'm going to subscribe, even though I don't really like to do that. But that's okay. We're gonna continue on here. That's gonna be I'm gonna do some research on that one. I didn't have time to listen. Oh, that's okay. I'm gonna do some of it for you. Hey, would you leave Lemmy alone, please? You're gonna knock my bowl off of that shelf and break it, and I'm gonna be upset, my dude. I tell you, I'm gonna make him get you. You better leave him alone. You better leave him alone. You can stay up there, boo, but you better leave my stuff alone. You knucklehead. You ain't never even got up there before. I don't even know what's wrong with you. Lord have mercy. Boo Man is being a handful tonight. She thinks her new mukbang is fooling someone. She lost 10 kgs eating large portions. I guess she thinks the table hides what we all know is still there. She actually does, and that's what's so wild about it. The only difference is she has a full head of purple hair versus Foodie being bald headed, Yeah, and I'm trying to keep my sense of humor because I love Boo, but Boo gets into all kinds of shenanigans that just the boy frustrates me sometimes. Right. There are a lot of coinciding factors there. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do some looking at Miss Alice there. If Chantal is trying to play up keeping up with the Joneses with me, she'll have to really show it because I'm now 34 pounds. Girl, don't you know it? From the point that I started this channel, when I went into full-on intermittent fasting, this whole shebang to get this 60 pounds off of me that I gained from the pause. Girl, I'm at 190 right now, and I said I wanted to get down to like 175. So here we are, and I'm down 45 pounds. I don't think, in all sincerity, that she could even she could reach yours or mine or the two combined, the total. I don't think she could do it. I mean, she would literally die first, I think. Hello, cowboy dog. How are you, sweetheart? It's good to see you. It's been a little minute since we've been able to hang out, but I'm glad you're here. Let's see. Hey, that's okay. He ain't mad. Trust me, he ain't mad at having nobody stand over him. Him loves to be worshipped and adored. That's just cat for you. Right. Yeah. Same. Jamal has lost 50 pounds off of his 550, and it's very noticeable. Right. I've been keeping track. I haven't really done anything on him, but I've been keeping track of him because the reasoning that I haven't really covered Jamal is because, as crazy as it sounds, for those of y'all that are women out here, y'all know that it is easier for men to lose weight than it is for women. Men can cut out sodas and nothing else, and they'll drop 25 pounds almost the first, over the course of the first week. It's wild just how quickly their metabolism has a tendency to rebound, Remember when Foodie did that wheelchair pic that everyone thought was Photoshopped because her tummy was smaller? What if she had 10 kgs of fluid drained off? Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't rule that out, but I mean, come on though. I mean, that whole look at what I ate that made me lose 10 kg. We know she ain't lost no 10 kgs from eating the way, changing her eating habits. We have done her BMR a couple of times, and the girl's got to have like 3,200 calories a day. The joys of being a functional adult, insurance, mortgage, and I wouldn't trade that responsibility for the world. Well, I mean, thankfully, I got to say this. I don't have a mortgage. God, you scared me. You scared me. Quit eyeballing Lemmy. That is not a play toy. Sorry. Thankfully, I don't have a mortgage. I don't have to worry about that. But, obviously being a homeowner, I do have to have homeowner's insurance because, crap happens and people are crazy and you never know what to expect. And, you got to be prepared for, whatever. Hi. What are you doing? Well, okay. I'm fine with you staying right there, but could you lay down for me? I love you too. You're a good boy. But could we lay down? Huh? Could we lay down? You can lay down and do your ASMR thing. Okay. You and your sister just unruly as I don't know what. I want everyone to remember that Puck was not just one day. Chantal did 3 streams where she played that song. Right. Exactly. She played it multiple times in the first one, and then she played it a few times after. She is trying so hard to manipulate the people that are in her audience because she knows that once this Mr. Snowflake thing comes out, that she is going to be fucked. She is trying so hard to get ahead of it. And what's so funny about it is all she's doing is giving him advertising for him to expose her, you know. Not so much shop pick, but the 13-pound loss. Ah, gotcha. Right. 100%. Oh, you must be starting behind. But that's okay. Let's see. All righty. Y'all ready to get into the psychosis here? Let's kick it off. So I'm backtracking just a little bit on ALR. We did talk about this, but this is the whole conversation around the picture and the video and all that bullshit. I just wanted to kind of rehash it rather than picking up on the conversation with the video.
And someone sent me a picture of someone seeing me at the laundromat and like taking a picture and posting it online. So I get recognized a lot in public. I do have a smaller channel, but I really think since so many other channels also talk about me, that I'm recognized from also other channels. So yeah, it's just something that happens. And something that also happens is like people taking photos with me or of me without my knowledge. And it doesn't bother me as long as it's not like a stalker situation. Like if you see me in public and you're too shy to come up to me, but you want to take a photo of me, I really don't care. I love when you guys come up to me and want to take a picture with me. You guys are always like literally so amazing, but it's always the people who take a photo of me without coming up to me. Those are the ones that are always like the haters, I think, because it's always something like rude is said about the photo when it's posted or whatever. So
okay, so first off, it was readily apparent that she was going to talk about this because in her mind, people taking pictures of her makes her famous, you guys. Okay, so I mean, there's that. And this is specifically why we don't reward stupid people, ladies and gentlemen. Between her and the two white guys that are the Jamaican twin rappers and all, stop making stupid people famous, y'all. Stop making stupid people famous. I mean, come on now. Well, basically the same person. Right. I mean, she seems to forget that, you know, to a lot of people in girl world, she's not a star. She's a circus sideshow. And by seeing her unfiltered out in public with no idea that there's somebody there that knows who she is, people are fucking shocked, more than likely, and they are taking a picture to be like, holy hell, look at who I ran into. But we're gonna get a little further into it.
Like, I don't know who posted it. I don't care who posted it, but a lot of people are seeing it and people are like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize Amberlynn was this big. You guys, I've been telling you from the jump that I am over 500 pounds. I have shown my body multiple times on camera, hundreds of times on camera. I am big. Like, it's something that I know. It's something that's obvious to me.
Okay, so I replayed all this because, you know, the next, she changes her opinion quite literally from one day to the next.
But y'all, seeing that photo was also like,
right.
Ugh, it was kind of hard for me to see because it's like, it's not an angle that I see of myself, like if ever, you know, like I'm sitting down in the laundromat and it's like, while I'm sitting there, like I know that I'm bigger. Like that's obviously something that is in my head all the time, but I don't realize like.
I love how she says that. I know that I'm bigger. Bigger to me would be like, and this is me now. I'm 5'10", 190 pounds. Okay. I wear a size 14. Bigger to me would be like an 18, a 20. Okay. That to me would be bigger. Old girl is past being bigger. Right. In her mind, she's just a little fluffy. Yeah.
What I look like as I'm sitting there, like until I see a photo like that. So I think this is one of them situations where it's like, I'm glad I saw this photo because it kind of lights a fire under me because it's like I don't want to like look like that anymore. So the first one is, do you
Okay. So here is the next, like I said, almost overnight, she completely changed her perspective. And it pissed me off because, first off, who the fuck are you?
feel insecure since that photo was taken of you in public? So I'm glad I got this question because before I even answer that question, I found out about the photo the night that I was at the laundromat. But then the next day, I found out that the person actually took a video of me. So just like when I said I was okay with the photo being taken, I would have totally been okay with like a real quick video, but I'm not okay with what I actually
Nutty.
saw. So what you guys are currently looking at is someone walking insanely close to me, like an inch away from me.
First off, let's get somebody's okay. I've been saying it before, okay? That somebody needs to buy this hoe a dictionary so that she can look up the word insanely, because she's not intelligent enough to know that that is what that means. Insanely means a hell of a lot. Drastic, you know? And two, somebody needs to buy this hoe a ruler. I understand that she is just as wide as she is tall and that she has issues with perspective and dimension, but the great wide world does not function that way. This person was probably a foot away from her. They were probably holding the phone like this as they walked down here when they were walking by her. Ain't nobody trying to get up on her ass like that. Because you can almost guarantee that the girl is functified. I done talked about this. I done worked with people her size and bigger. And it don't matter how much these people wash their ass, if they do. Okay? There is perpetual skin-to-skin contact in them folds, which means there's perpetual moisture, which means there is candida or yeast all up in them folds, which comes with a lovely, interesting odor, and no amount of perfume or body spray is going to cover it. So, yeah, don't nobody want to get that close to her. I can almost guarantee you that whoever took that video was probably able to smell her from a foot away. She need to calm the fuck down.
Filming my butt. I feel very unsafe when I see that. So take me out of the picture, take me out of the situation, take out your bias. If you saw someone filming someone's butt in public, you wouldn't be okay with that. I feel like that's alarming. I feel like that's weird. That's strange, especially because like how close they got to me. Like that's not okay in my opinion. Like I know that I'm very disliked by a large portion of you, but I know there's like a larger portion of you where I have seen you guys stick up for me surrounding this. And I feel like it's like a bigger thing. It's not the fact that it was me. It's just the fact that like it's scary out there for women already. So like it just makes me feel more uneasy, and it kind of just like opens up a bigger topic than just like, oh, there's a video of Amberlynn out there. Like no, like women need to feel safe, and we're just not. Okay, I can like.
All right, y'all. Oh, I don't know if y'all heard that. That was my spine. Let me just stretch this out real quick. All right, so where shall I begin? For somebody who spends such an illustrious and drastically overblown amount of time on TikTok, ma'am, you obviously seem to miss the fact there are a lot of women who walk around getting their asses filmed. Okay? That they're aware of, they don't complain about, and nobody has made an issue about. Secondarily, all of a sudden it's a problem, and that there's a problem for all women because it's you. Which I find amusing because how are you going to feel unsafe when you're in a public place surrounded by people, and the fact that you are a quarter of a fucking ton, ma'am. Number one, ain't nobody fixing to jump on you and try to take no booty. Ain't nobody fixing to snatch your big old ass up and throw you off nowhere. And even if they did, it would probably be the best fucking thing that ever happened to you, ma'am, because I can guarantee you that they're not fixing to give you the 3,500 plus calories that you need in a day to sustain that big old mass that you call a body. You getting kidnapped, as unlikely as it is, would probably save your fucking life in the long run, as insane as that sounds. Now, ain't nobody saying that there ain't somebody out here in this great wide world that would not find you attractive, because that's not where I'm going at all. There are a bunch of freaky people who love them some morbidly obese women. Okay. But I can guarantee you that ain't some random at the damn at the laundromat who just happens to be there, who zips by you and takes a video of you. Okay. What he's doing is he was so fucking shocked at the size of your legs in comparison to the rest of your body, and how you're shaped, that he had to, like, document it. I've said it before, and I will say it again. Ma'am, you are the equivalent of a circus sideshow, and you want to act shocked that somebody takes a video of you because they can't fucking believe what they're seeing? Ah, Jesus H. Christ, y'all. Oh, my God. Kiddo does the same thing. He was diagnosed with autism too. See, and that's the deal. I can tell you're behind, but that's okay. But yeah, that's one of the big ones. And we could talk about some others, girl. Facts. If they're going to do anything, they're going to grab that bag that she has shown everybody she likes to keep $1,000 in cash in, and they're going to hightail that shit, because if somebody's going to kidnap her, please. Oh Lord, victim Lynn will never change. She lives the victim life. Right. And it pisses me off. It's like, she irks my ever-loving nerves. That all day, between that and the massive legs. I mean, come on. There's people taking vids and pics of Foodie out and about. Right. And, they both had the exact same response. It's just like, it's irksome. So close to home. ALR is in the city I basically grew up in, 50 miles away. That would be, I got to tell you, if you happen to run into the old girl one day, I will be surprised if you are not gobsmacked by her appearance, honestly. Hi, Okie doll. How are you? Girl, you lucky you ain't run into her too. She has no reason to be upset about it. She wants people to come up to her. She's just mad because she can't make money off of it. That too. Well, and let's be realistic. She can't control the narrative on anything when somebody posts a picture or a video that she doesn't know anything about. Unless she can use it as content. I don't see that. I don't blame you. I would too. So I had to say all that. Ooh, girl, right? Somebody would throw their fucking back out trying to kidnap her. Talking about she feels unsafe. Bitch, where?
Rant forever about that. But let's not do that. Let's do that.
All right. So real quick, we're going to jump over real quick because this right here come out today and this shit pissed me the fuck off. Hang on.
Very friendly back. I might be like an Aqua Taco myself. like getting super close to me and taking a video of my butt. It makes me uncomfy, and I'm going to like stand by that. So I think we are done with this saga, though.
It makes me uncomfy. Ma'am, not eating enough for 3 people makes you uncomfortable. Getting
Why
up,
are you not investing in tax?
Getting up and behaving like a semi-functional adult makes you uncomfortable. Dealing with reality makes you uncomfortable. So that's your biggest issue. But I shout out to Bottle, by the way, on putting this shit together, because I ain't gonna tell you no lie, I couldn't help but laugh.
So now I'm going to answer 3 of your guys' questions. The first one is,
this is the one, this is why I wanted to add this, because this one right here goes off on a fucking tangent that I was like listening to this going, are you fucking kidding me?
what do you say to the rumors that the weigh-ins are fake? Which, let's be realistic here. Scientifically, that would be impossible. Because for someone my size, over 500 pounds, like I just recently walked a mile.
It's not just easy, it's giving your dog your fitness tracker easy. Oh, good boy.
Do you really think that someone, like, if I was even bigger than that, if anyone was even bigger than that, like that would have been like possible?
That's right, get some steps in for mama. It's a good dog. No pain, no gain.
And I just know firsthand, like looking at myself from any point of view.
Those are some meaty thighs, bro.
I know that I don't look more than what I weigh, whether it's my point of view or from someone else's camera or a mirror, like whatever it may be. I think that people like to say that my weigh-ins are fake because it just creates drama, it creates entertainment, it creates conspiracy. Like just last year, I went to a famous weight loss surgeon's literal doctor's office and stepped on their scale, and people were still not believing that weigh-in. So here's the clip.
Her padding her videos with old fucking footage irks the hell out of me.
So I think we're past the part of like, oh, we don't trust Amber Land, that's why we don't believe her weigh-ins. So
yeah. So let's talk about the weight loss surgeon, because number one, during that entire process, not one time did old girl make any comment about him being a super famous weight loss surgeon. So now we're conflating that simply because we want to feel special about the fact that we went to a bariatric surgeon. Ma'am, your ass didn't get approved. Your ass is still over 500 pounds. Please stop trying to use that as a flex.
So that's kind of like where I'm at with that. Like, I literally don't care if people don't believe my weigh-ins because I know they're true. Next question is, does it get exhausting constantly thinking about your weight? Like, my weight is when I try to be more than that, and it's still everyone's like focus, where it's just like, no matter what I do, it's just like my weight, my weight, my weight. That's all anyone wants to talk about.
Crying, whining little baby bitch, acting out like an adolescent girl who whines on Twitter. Hey, fuck up. Grow the fuck up, you crying, whining little baby bitch.
The last question is, are you worried?
She's so bothered that other people want to talk about her weight. Let's take a look at this real quick. Okay. So, videos. All right, she doesn't want us to talk about her weight. She doesn't want that to be the focus. She is so sick of people focusing on it. All right, here we are 23 hours ago, weigh-in. All right, here we go. Living my best life, a week with my friends, palm reading, and look at what the fucking thumbnail is. Her big old shelf ass that she had a problem with somebody else videoing or photographing. All right, the next one. An honest look into what I ate today at 500 pounds. Okay, there we are again. Isn't it? This isn't okay. And going back to Ozempic, weigh in. Okay. Let's see. Best snack recipe ever. My thoughts on Becky, 2-week weigh in and sending nudes. Lying about my weight, so I'm mad at myself. Walk with me. Can I walk at 500 pounds? The truth. Weigh in week 1. What I'm doing to lose weight. Let's see here. Let's keep going. First weigh-in of 2024. Jack in the Box taste test. My goals for 2024. Weight loss and update. Okay. 1,000-pound sisters. Sharing a secret. Spilling some tea. My legs are bigger. I feel ugly because of my disease. And that's it in a month. I'm sorry. You don't want people to focus on the weight, but that's all you perpetually talk about. That's a perpetual state of weigh-ins, a month of weigh-ins, a weekly Wednesday weigh-in, a monthly or Monday weigh-in. What I eaten today as a quarter-ton bitch. What can I do this because I'm 500 pounds? Using full body shots with your chef ass as your cover image. Stop utilizing it as something that grabs eyeballs and clicks, and then maybe people won't focus on it. Secondarily, if you had a fucking personality, a life, a hobby, a half of a fucking brain, maybe, just maybe, Tin Man, you would have something to offer to talk about other than your fucking weight. Jesus Christ. But this is the same woman who's got such an issue with, oh, well, if I lose weight, I'm probably going to lose followers. So do I choose money or do I choose weight loss? I think you know, ALR, that there is nothing else to talk about because you are a fucking imbecile. I think it's also funny that you didn't want to complain about how focused people are when your weight, when you were able to clickbait that shit and make views off of it, when you were able to make enough money to spend $3,000 or more in a month on DoorDash, that you were able to spend so much money on Amazon and Temu and whatever the hell else you could get into on your phone to collect stickers and off-brand Legos and fucking cheap earrings and every other damn thing that you could hoard. It wasn't a problem then. You can't have it both ways. I swear to Christ, this woman infuriates the shit out of me. Hi, Tink. How are you, sweetheart? Well, obviously, of the bunch, the most recent one of hers that actually has a decent amount of views is her actually putting food into her head. Okay, the what I eat, what an honest look and what I eat a day. I ate today is a 500-pound woman, 52,000 views. Lying about my weight, 62,000 views. Week 2 weigh-in, sending nudes, 71. I don't want to admit this, best snack recipe, 71. Somebody took a picture of me in public, 64. I mean, the highest she's gotten out of the last 2 months was 71,000. Which is nowhere near what she used to get when she was putting food into her head, you know. Yeah, she's clickbaity as fuck. No question about it. And she should have. I mean, this is fucking bullshit. Sorry, y'all. I ain't gonna tell y'all no lie. I'm hella spicy tonight. She picked the wrong day. The sound makes enough to get help. They live outside their means. 100%. That's the point that I'm making, because we're fixing to go into this whole boo-hoo, feel bad for me bullshit. And that about this video is what pissed me the fuck off.
About all of the plus size influencers dying. Like, there was recently a video that I saw online of, and it is so many, and it's just like, I have never been part of health at every size because I don't believe that. Oh, you're obese, but you're healthy.
You're obese, but you're healthy.
I'm very much like body positivity though. Like, love that body physically, like what you look like, regardless of your size. Oh, you're just big, but you're healthy.
You're just big, but you're healthy.
Because everyone is beautiful, but not every size is healthy.
You're obese, but you're healthy.
I don't know how that's not obvious to people that being bigger is unhealthy. I don't want to be skinny because skinny isn't always healthy. But when it comes to like health stuff, that's not just like fat phobic, that's not fat shaming, that's just like reality and the truth. I know it sounds like, oh my God, why are we like listening to a 500-pound girl talk about this? Like, she knows what she's talking about. Unfortunately, I do. And that's something that I've always firmly believed. There was a minute there years and years ago where I was delusional Lynn, where it's like doctors would tell me, you know, yeah, everything's perfect. Like, your blood results perfect. Like, you're healthy. You're just overweight. Like, she was like, you're healthy, but you are obese. Like, I would.
All right. This is the same one that got told in the ER, who she said she clapped because a ER doctor looked her square in her face and looked Becky square in the face and said, if she doesn't do something now, she's not going to be here for long. Another thing too, hi Amber, tell me you're watching without telling me you're watching, because the last live we did, boo-boo, I showed that exact clip that talked about these multiple fat influencers dying. Secondarily, boo-boo, you ain't influencing shit. You are a sad quarter-ton heifer on YouTube, clickbaiting, sad fishing, and fucking around with your life. That's all you are. And you gonna go the same route as Life by Jen, old girl. You gonna get a couple of rest in peace ALRs, and that's gonna be the end of it. You and Foodie both.
Hear those things constantly. So it fed into my delulu. Your 30s, your brain, like, I think it becomes more clear. The way that I used to think, like early 20s, mid 20s, is like so different than like the way that I think now.
No shit. Jesus Christ. I thought this girl was supposed to be educated. I thought she was supposed to have this insanely high IQ. But for some reason, she doesn't seem to acknowledge that, you know, your prefrontal cortex is not fully developed until the age of 25. So, of course, at 20 and 21 and 22, you think you're 10 feet tall and bulletproof because you're not fucking fully developed mentally to be able to understand the consequences of one's actions. That is why, especially for men, the death rate at, you know, of teenage boys and boys in their early 20s are insanely fucking high. It's because they're not intelligent, emotionally or mentally intelligent or developed enough to understand, hey, you know what? Maybe I need to calm the fuck down for a minute. Christ almighty. Sorry, y'all. She irks the ever-loving piss out of me.
Day I will be a plus size influencer who has died, but reality is reality. That is crazy to think about.
Some body washes.
Shut up.
What a baby.
Skinny influencers die. We're all gonna die, okay? Everyone dies.
And the way that she's chuckling about that, everyone dies.
Why are we talking about this? To answer the original question, yes.
Yes, skinny influencers die. But do you know that majority of them are probably going to live to be elderly. That is something you won't know anything about. If you want to get right down to it, if you'll talk about anybody who is on YouTube, who has an Instagram, who does whatever, if they have any sort of a following at all, they could be deemed an influencer, which I guess technically would make me an influencer. But you know what I'm not doing? I'm not advocating for people sitting on their ass and eating to a point where they gain themselves enough weight that they are just about completely immobile, that they're a drain on people mentally, physically, mentally, I said mentally twice because it is that bad, emotionally and monetarily, because you know what? When your ass goes down and you can't do anything for yourself, you're not going to have anybody there who's going to take care of you, which means that your ass is going to end up in a long-term care facility where other people are having to just about fucking throw their back out, trying to turn you over to take care of you because you didn't care enough about you to take care of you. For fuck's sake.
I am worried. It does worry me. It makes me sad. It makes me scared. If losing weight was easy, then we would all have our perfect bodies. And for other people, such as myself, it is very freaking hard. And I know it's a lot of like up here. And you guys have seen me literally try everything.
No, ma'am, you haven't literally tried everything. You haven't done inpatient treatment, which is exactly what you need, bitch. Fuck.
Under the sun to lose weight. And I always do. It is a cycle.
Oh, yeah, you always do. You lose about 10 pounds and then you proceed to inhale the entire fucking house for weeks on end. Secondarily, we done already talked about this whole, it is insanely hard for me to lose weight. It's insanely hard for you to lose weight because you have zero self-control. Using the lipedema and the lymphedema, which she's going to bring up again one more time to use as a scapegoat, is not the reason that you are over a quarter ton, dear. It is a fork to mouth problem, not a lymphedema, lipedema problem. When, as somebody who works in the fucking medical field, I can tell you, take a guess at what the course of treatment and management of those issues are. Diet and fucking exercise. That's why this hoe pisses me off. That. It is everybody's fault but hers. It's bad chemicals in my head, you guys. Bitch. And here we are, not doing a damn thing about it.
That has been forever. Literally started when I was 11 years old. Some people, they literally just wake up and they're like, you know what, I'm going to do this. Some people, it takes 100 different times to try it and I'm finally successful. I've tried 10,000 times and I just can't seem to get it. And it makes people question, does she just enjoy being fat? No, I hate it. I hate everything about it. I hate food. I hate my size. I hate the health issues that will happen because of it. I hate the health issues I've had because of it. I hate my body. I hate the way I'm treated because of it. I hate my weight. I hate the way I walk because of it. Like, I hate every single second.
Eventually.
But I feel stuck. I feel physically stuck. I feel mentally stuck. I feel emotionally stuck. I just feel stuck and confused and lost. People think they have all the answers. People think they know exactly what to do. But it's not that easy. I don't want to die because of my weight. But it's like every day now, I just feel scared that I'm going to die because of my weight. Because it's like, I know I'm going to die because of my weight. The very thing that has like kept me from living is going to be the very thing to actually keep.
And that shit right there is what really set my fucking ears on fire. You're sitting there trying to act all emotional and you're like, literally, this bitch still don't take this shit serious. She still don't take it serious. I don't want to hear, I've done it 1,000 times and I just can't get it. and whatever. I've literally tried everything. Nah, bitch, you ain't. So long as you are in control of what's in that refrigerator, so long as you control what comes into that fucking door, so long as you control what is going from that fork to your mouth, you will never, ever have any sort of long-term success. And there are plenty of people out here, me and Miss Kalari right here are primary examples of this, that it is entirely fucking possible to do it. But you know what? I'm just going to lay it out there for you. I'm going to pull a little, y'all know my mama's Lucy? I done talked about my mama plenty of times. I'm fixing to pull a Lucyism. How bad do you want it? How bad do you fucking want it? Because either you're going to find a fucking way or you're going to find an excuse to not do it. So what's it going to be? Shit like this is the reason why I have no fucking pity for her. None. Because here we are literally making a fucking fool out of ourselves. She claims to hate everything about her fucking size except for the money that she can make by clickbaiting and full body photoing herself and making herself look like a total fucking fool. We're okay with that. But we want to hate everything else. We want the benefits without any of the work of actually having to do something. That's the problem that I have with her. She hates something that she has full and total control over whether or not it changes. There are people right now, as we fucking speak, in the hospital with inoperable, untreatable cancer who would give anything to have any say or control in whether or not they fight and save themselves. There are children right now in pediatric units all across this country who are dealing with leukemia. And do you know what? Those children have more fucking fight in them than she does. Children, 4, 5, 6 years old, who have no clue exactly how good life can be. But do you know what? They fight fiercer than this bitch who's had plenty more opportunities and things at her disposal to give her the life that she could ever possibly want. And what does she do? She takes it for fucking granted, and then she cries about how things are not the way that she wants them to be. This shit pisses me the fuck off. Prime example. For those of y'all who don't follow country music, a gentleman by the name of Toby Keith died over the last few days of gastric cancer. And do you know, despite having this cancer diagnosis and despite going through the hellacious process of trying to fight to save his life, he continued to live his fucking life. He was still touring. He was spending time with people that loved him. He was doing things that made his life fuller and made the lives of those around him fuller. And that man, the last interview that they did with him, do you know that he said that he would not change a thing? And that he was acceptable. He accepted the fact that the end was coming because he had a life. He had a life that most people could only dream of. And he knew that. He was grateful for every single moment that he was given. And here we are. We're dealing with a spoiled, quarter-ton, whiny little bitch who has every bit of her life in her control. And all she is doing is fucking it up and wanting to blame everybody else for it. And those reasons are the reason why ALR can fuck all the way off. And just like that, I am done with ALR because I cannot I can't listen to any more of this shit tonight. Real talk, y'all. Sorry. I'm sorry I went off on a fucking tangent, y'all, but that shit bothers me. It fucking bothers me. As somebody who has seen, with 25 years in the medical field, the level of suffering that people go through with illnesses like cancer and strokes and heart attacks and every other thing you could possibly imagine. And the fact that there are people that no matter how bad things get, that they are still willing to knuckle down and fight to push themselves through to the other side. And she has effectively given up, and she expects people to boo-hoo cry with her and pat her on the fucking ass because she is too goddamn lazy to do things because they might be a little hard. Yes. Rest in peace, Toby Keith. Many prayers of healing and comfort to his family. I actually was listening to some of his songs before I came on stream. Very, very talented man. I'm 5'1", and my heaviest I was 202. I just decided one day was enough. I was dying of high blood sugar. I started walking, stopped drinking, and watched what I ate. I have lost 70 pounds. And there you go. Goes back to it. How bad do you want it? If you want it bad enough, you can make pretty much anything happen. He absolutely was. He was 6'4". He was not a small man by any measure of the imagination. You know? Walking a mile once, and F says about exactly. And that's not something that she's willing to give. I have said it before. Again, we know that she watches these. Amber, if you're going to waste your fucking time, at least buy a life insurance policy so your family aren't left cleaning up the fucking mess that you're going to leave legally and financially after you die. At the bare minimum, think of somebody else for once in that single instance, would you? Because we already know your mama ain't got money like that. So her having to figure out how to pay for an oversized casket for you and to pay to have an oversized hole dug for you is ridiculous. And I don't want to hear about life insurance being too expensive like you made the claim that Ozempic was too expensive when you pay over $3,000 a month in DoorDash. But, you know, priorities and all that. Yes, I saw that. That was sad to hear. I saw him 10 years ago. It was an amazing concert. It broke my heart that he passed away. Mm-hmm. He was a very, very talented guy. I mean, I know Toby Keith was not really well liked for a while there because he was so pro-America, and some of the songs that he did were very, you know, in your face and everything. But honestly, I mean, he was a very, very talented man. Like one of the songs that I was listening to before I came on was If You Kiss Me Like This. It is such a ridiculously pretty song. And then, of course, you know, I love this bar. That's like it's probably one of my favorites of his. And then, you know, I'm Not As Good As I Once Was. I mean, the political songs are good. I mean, they're still just as good, you know, performance wise, but you know, sometimes you want to step back away from that and you just want to have a nice song, a feel good song. And he was that guy, you know, in a lot of instances. Well, QZ, I mean, I know, but it is honestly, I don't like having these people irritate me to that point where I pop the fuck off, to be truthful. I mean, I don't really know any other way to say it, but you know, I mean, it's almost impossible not to lose it, because it's just like, You really coming on here crying, expecting everybody else to care when you don't even fucking care. You know, it's infuriating. My height is 5'1" as well, and at my heaviest that I know for sure was 467. I'm over 240 down. That was November 2023, and I've gone down 2 sizes since then. Pix is, look at that. I am hella proud of you, Pix. Continue making that forward motion, girl. I know you got to feel amazing, and I'm going to tell you, it only gets better from here. I'll admit I get tickled when I'm told that getting weight loss surgery was cheating. It's not. It's absolutely not. It is an entire life change. There is no question. I love that all the grains in here are so damn amazing. Give yourself the pats you deserve. I agree wholeheartedly. Thank you. When my cobra ran out, it was the first task on the list. Not much, but enough to bury me and a little lift. Yep. See, that's part of the situation. Like today, like when I spent my time with my dad today, I had to get some paperwork to show that if something happened to me, now obviously I'm in better health than my dad, without doubt. But as we have well learned, which, I haven't gone into detail about what happened to my mom, but we know accidental death happens. Unplanned things happen. And because of that circumstance, I take all of that into consideration. And that was what the meetings today was about, because I wanted to put into place, ensuring that if something happened to me that I was not expecting, that my family would not have to jump through the hoops of probate and every other thing to maintain, gain control of my home, of my vehicles, of the money that I have in my account, all of that stuff. I am very much about being prepared. I have had a power of attorney for over a decade now, probably a decade and a half. Yeah. And, this way, should something happen to me and I'm incapacitated and I can't make my own decisions, living will, power of attorney is just beneficial to you. And I had already had that set up for some time now, but now that I am away from my family, if something happens to me, they will not be right there to actively make decisions. It would take them driving all this way to come over here and be actively involved if they were needed. And I did not want to leave anything to chance. So, so it's good that you do these things. Yes, it is. Yes, it's morbid to think about death, but everybody, like OALR led to say, everybody's going to die. Absolutely. Everybody is eventually at some point going to meet their maker. Okay. But realistically, all of those things are not for you. They are for the people that you leave behind that are going to be stuck with picking up the pieces and carrying on with all the things that you have that need to be dealt with. And that's the only reason why, Let's see. Ooh, I see something about a handsome man here. Oh, we still talking about Toby Keith. He was a nice looking man. I've been told that I only have 5 years to live. I won't make it to 50. Marion, I'm so sorry to hear that. But I do hope that the time that you have left is comfortable, and that at this point that you have hopefully made plans for yourself as to what you want as you get closer to the end, and that you've made plans for how you want things dealt with after you're no longer here, so that you can depart this life knowing that you don't have to worry about things, or that your family doesn't have to worry about things. But I am so, so sorry. And I hope that the next 5 years for you are as full of life and ability as you can make them, because everybody deserves that. She needs to stop whatever nonsense she's spewing. Healthy at 500 pounds. Right. That girl, you see, I lost my shit, girl. I couldn't help it. To be honest, I've had an extra 44 years. I I wasn't meant to live past 6 weeks. Wow. Then you have definitely got your money's worth out of that body, didn't you? Bless your soul. I hope that you can look back on your life and be happy, with all the things that you've accomplished and all the family and friends that you've had time with to love, because that's really what matters more than anything else. Having to make my final arrangements for my daughter really showed me how much I didn't know about what all was involved. Yes, it's not just that. Like if you have like adults involved, I mean, you're talking about their residence, their vehicles, whatever monetary accounts they've got, doing their taxes after they've passed away. There's a lot of hoops, and it's incredibly frustrating, of a process to go through, especially if you don't have somebody to help guide you, and that's a big part of why I talk about like your power of attorneys and your living wills, and get you, even if it's just cheap life insurance, y'all, get you a little bit of life insurance to do whatever needs to be done to make sure that your family isn't having to struggle to give you the type of end service that you want, All right, now, woo, Jesus, hopefully this one right here ain't gonna trigger me, because honestly, she's to me at this point, she's the less aggravating of the two, if that makes sense.
Today I woke up and chose violence.
First off, ma'am, you don't know nothing about choosing violence, because you couldn't throw them hands if you wanted to. And you ain't capable of reading people. So won't you just calm down?
This video is going to be me addressing these dumb documentaries made about me. Well, they're not just about me. There are a lot made about other creators as well. I'm doing this because there's a channel that, just like the rest, picks on content creators they see as failures, I guess. And it's usually either Amberlynn or I. I find it weird that a grown man chooses to obsess over the lives of the two same women, basically beating a dead horse, but whatever. Speaking of beating dead horses, figuratively, not literally, of course.
This one was supposed to be college educated. Thanks for pointing that out, Captain Obvious, for fuck's sake. I want to donate my body to science. Do you know anything about that? Well, I mean, you can, ideally, when you do the paperwork for organ donation, it actually isn't limited to your organs. I have seen people do like a full body harvest. I had a patient one time who he had metastatic cancer. Metastatic just means that it's traveled everywhere. He had it in his brain. He had it in his bones. He had it just all over. And when he passed, there was documentation in place, and I'm sure you could probably find paperwork online to fill that out, and you could probably attach it with your power of attorney and your living will and all that other stuff. And if, let's say, you wanted to, you could donate whatever, because like this gentleman, he donated every part of his body, his bones, his brain, some of his skin, sections of lung, the whole shebang. And I didn't participate in it because they have a specific team that comes in for that. And but I did get to be present for that, to help close his body up and to prep it for transport. It's actually really, really interesting to see, because they take those parts and they take them for study. Now, it just depends upon what you want them to use your body for. Now, if you want, I mean, I think I saw somebody right here, Pick said it, like body farms. Like if you want to donate your body to a body farm, what they do, if you're not familiar, there are videos about it. They will take your body and they will put it outside, and you go through the normal process of decomposition in an outdoor exposed environment, and they have them kind of all over so that they can see how decomposition is affected by the weather, by the temperature, and the varying wildlife and bugs in that particular region. And what that does is that helps people who do crime scene analysis, or it helps detectives and stuff. It helps them kind of get an idea of, how long it takes the body to break down, what happens to the body when it does, what to expect when they find bodies in this particular condition. So, I mean, it just depends upon what your interest is in relation to body donation. There's plenty of options. I can't either, and I'm looking forward to it. Well, see, then that's entirely possible. I mean, you could still do that. I imagine that, like, if you Googled, there are forms for that too, because each individual one will have you set up paperwork and everything. Yep. See, that's possible too. And they use those for their gross anatomy skills, where they actually go in to make it physically possible to view the structures of the body in a way where they can see them, touch them, manipulate them, so that they have a better understanding of the anatomy and physiology training that they've received. So it just depends on what you want to do. Organ donation is what helped me get through my son's death. The letters I received from the recipients were very touching. See, now I wanted to do that. I wanted to do that with my mom. But because of the circumstances, the police department would not allow me to. They flat out said no. There was no discussion about it. And that, I think, above all else, bothered me, because that was something that I knew that my mom would have wanted. My mom was a nurse for almost 40 years, and she was a nurse practitioner for the last 15 years of that. And she went above and beyond to take care of people and to help people. And I have no question that it didn't, because she and I had discussions about it. She wanted donation done, but because of the way things played out, even with the paperwork, they wouldn't, even though we knew why she died, they would not clear it, because they said that she had to have an autopsy, which is interesting. I won't lie. I felt a kind of way about it. I have lupus and RA. I'm not sure my organs would be of much good, but I'm all for donation. Well, I mean, ideally, you could still probably donate for study, or you could, of course, do the med school route if you wanted to, because they do take, we're not talking about perfect bodies that the med schools use. They have people who donate their bodies that have every sort of illness or issue, so, it's entirely possible. Just depends on if take some time to think about it. You might be able to help somebody make some advances in lupus and RA down the line. Hey, Patricia, love you. It's good to see you. Well, let's continue on with the crazy woman.
This new quote unquote docu-series being made about me will not, by the way, spoiler, will not contain anything new that you haven't heard a million times before. Also from these few other overly dramatic, embellished bullcrap documentaries.
Look at that. Thank you, Patricia. I appreciate that. You didn't have to do that. Very sweet of you. I've never heard of that. I may have to look that up. My plan, last thing I told my people, was to just cremate me and chuck me in the ocean, because, a little bit of my mom's ashes are in the cemetery at my grandmother's feet. That's about 25%. The other 75 went into the ocean because, you know, that was her church. That was her peace. That was her place. And I was just like, you know what? Just put me with mom, you know. But, you know, coral reef thing doesn't sound too bad. I'm going to have to do some research on that. So here's something that she doesn't seem to take into consideration. It has nothing really to do with him covering information that everybody has heard multiple times. It has to do with the perspective that it is coming from. That would be like me and Kalari. Me and Kalari both talk about foodie. We are each going to have our own individual perspective, our own individual opinion. You know, it would be, let's take this one, even though she's a fucking joke, you know. Let's say that instead of a morbidly obese psychopath, that we were talking about a painting on a wall. Every one of us in this room looking at this painting, we are not going to see this painting the same way. Okay? But let's also say, though, too, that there are plenty of people that we know who haven't seen this painting. What Kalari and I, or Mr. Snowflake, or FFG, or Yaba, or anybody else that you want, we are simply giving a perspective on what we see. That would be like that. Why do you think that there are people that actually do book reviews? Why do you think just one person isn't assigned to say Stephen King? There are multiple people that do book reviews on Stephen King. The same fucking book. It has nothing to do with the fact that every other person is talking about it. It has to do with the insight and the perspective of the person doing the review, which is something that she would know anything about if she actually continued with her college education instead of dropping out after 2 weeks. Jesus Christ. See, isn't that a nice thought? It's a nice thought. Exactly. But he, of course, does add stuff into it. But, you know, I think, but realistically, anything, even if she flat out, if he lined up everything that she said in front of her, she still would call it bullshit. I think so too, because I think she looked, and Mr. Snowflake has a lot of people subscribe to him, even more now since this has come out. Girl, I know the F-bomb can't be monetized. At the bare minimum, they're gonna probably flag me as probably unsuitable for some advertisers, but I ain't worried about all that. These women just irk the holy living shit out of me. I call the beach church all the time. I'm a beach bum. Well, I mean, that whole thing with like it being church. My mom would come down here all the time with my dad, without my dad. It didn't matter. She would come down, and what she would do is she would slather herself head to toe in sunscreen because she was very fair complected, but she would go out on the beach and she would spend hours out on the beach, and she would walk up and down the beach and she would collect seashells. And my dad asked her one time, she said, you know, he said, what are you doing out there? Are you seriously spending hours collecting seashells? And she said, no, that's not all I'm doing. She said, she says, when I'm out there, she says, yeah, I'm collecting seashells. She says, but I'm talking to my mom. She says, I'm talking to God. She says, I'm just taking it all in. You know, that's why we called it my mom's church, because that was it for her. That's where she felt most connected. You know? All right. Now that we've deviated off into something serious, let's go back to the fuckery.
Such as Canadian Horror Story, for example. First off, a documentary is supposed to be educational. There's nothing educational about me, about these videos, because you are only able to make conclusions based on limited information about my life.
That you provided. And by the way, it is educational for people out here who watch them, because the aim for all of us out here is not to end up like you. You know?
What is educational about me eating and telling stories from my past, for example? My life is really not that interesting, nor is my content to warrant 3 hours of an in-depth character study that these creators fabricate. Not only that, they try to analyze me from what seems to be a psychological approach or, about my eating disorder or other matters when they're not even qualified to do that.
I am. I'm not diagnosing you, but I'm more than qualified to talk about the varying things that are wrong with you that we can observe. I think that's really what bothers her, is the fact that people can make an assessment of her without any formal education. And the fact that there are so many people who can look at what's being said and say, you know what? They're right. So, yeah, feel how you want about it, old girl. And you're right, your life is boring, and so is your fucking content. But in order to make it palatable, the fact is that other people have to mold it and mend it into something that actually makes it presentable, to make you tolerable and watchable. There you go. Exactly. Well, Chantal, what's so interesting about you? Nothing. So why use that? Why? Oh, no one knows how many times a day King Charles farts. No one knows. No one needs to know what Napoleon had for freaking breakfast daily. Lincoln didn't tweet his favorite NHL team, but there are books. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Despite her thoughts on the matter, formal education and everything, really, I hope not. That's not my plan. Realistically, if you'll think about this, I mean, having formal education that actually makes you capable of diagnosing is not necessarily a requirement. The fact is that life experience does play a role into things, and it doesn't really matter what perspective you come from. If you have a particular set of experiences, then it is entirely possible for somebody to look at you and say, this bitch is fucking nuts. That's awesome. I'm sorry. That's awesome.
Being some edgelord living in your parents' basement, reading Kiwi Farms all day, does not make you a credible source of information. You are not doctors, you are not therapists, and you are certainly not experts on my life. So each of these dumb documentaries starts off with some dramatic cinematic intro. Imagine, how am I that interesting? Anyway.
You're not. The point is to make you interesting.
I guess I'm flattered.
You should be.
So the music is super annoying because it sets...
I listen to it. I think it's a banger. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I was trying to damn, what do you do? Whatchamadoodle? What the hell's the name of that thing? I was trying to Shazam it so that I could go download it. Do you know it don't come up on Shazam? I'm gonna have to, somebody's got to find out what that song is, because I want it.
The tone of sadness, hopelessness, drama, regret. Again, speculating that we as the subjects feel that way about our lives.
Ma'am, at 400 pounds and at 500 pounds, I think it's pretty safe to say y'all do. Yep, as crazy as it sounds, believe it or not. I know, me saying that probably makes me sound old as fuck, but it is.
Maybe some do. That's their problem. I don't, and here's why. And here's why I don't care if people cancel me, unsub, make 4-hour documentaries about me. It's because I know I'm human. I know I'm flawed.
Do you now?
Show me one person with a perfect life or past, and I'll shut up. Just one. God made obstacles for us as tests.
I think it's pretty safe to say that you're failing. And I think it's also pretty safe to say that there is nobody in this great wide world who has a perfect life. Okay? Not one person. The difference is all 99% of society, well, rephrase, because there's plenty of people that are just like her. So let's say 90% of society actually learns something from it. They take responsibility for it and they make changes so that they don't make the same mistakes again. That, my darling, is where you fall short. Because number one, you don't see anything wrong with the things that you do. You haven't changed any of them because you continue to do them. And three, you seem to think that because you say so, that you are exempt from judgment. Hi, Abby. It's good to see you. You actually missed Boo Man. He was in here earlier acting a fool. And little mama made a quick little appearance. Maybe they'll duck back in. They're watching bird shows right now, though. There's that too. Are you trying to say that you're a perfect person, Heather? You got a perfect life, girl? I love that for you. I'm so glad. Let's continue on.
Life is personal and each individual has their own tailored path. So unless, and this is key, unless you are living in that person's shoes or life path, you really cannot say what you would do or how you would react to certain situations because you are not living it. You will always be looking from the outside in, and that gives you a very limited view. Trust me.
Okay. Okay. As somebody with a limited view, looking at it from the outside, if I met a 6'2", 150-pound crackhead, number one, I would have backed my car out of the parking spot and fucking left. Number two, even if he hadn't acted or looked like a crackhead and I went into his house and there was a meth pipe laying on his floor, I would have fucking bolted. Number three, let's negate the first two. Let's say these first two things never happened. If there was a man that I got involved with, I wouldn't be paying his fucking bills. Okay. If he stuck his dick somewhere that ended up getting me sick, I wouldn't have been fighting with God and everybody to bang my way back into his house. Okay. Number four, that same man who happened to give me all kinds of STDs would absolutely not have convinced me that it was my fault because I don't wash my hoo-ha. Number five, I would not have gotten addicted to cocaine. Number six, I wouldn't have ate myself to over 400 pounds. Number seven, I would not have married a total stranger after talking to them for 3 weeks. Number eight, I wouldn't have flown all the way across the world to do that. So I think it's pretty safe to say I'm speaking kind of rationally. Are you suggesting everyone doesn't smoke meth off the floors of bed? That's girl. Well, I don't speak for everybody, but I speak for most, I love you, Heather. See, this right here is why I love this one. Because she be spurring on my fuckery. She be goading my bullshit. Oh, I missed one. Are you ready? I wouldn't have licked another woman's hoo-ha to try to win over a crackhead to keep him around by showing him how cool I am. God almighty. Really? By Joey Hanna. Ooh, let me write that down. Let me write it down because I'm going to be finding it. Joy Hanna. It's getting added to the playlist, y'all. Y'all think I'm playing. That song is awesome. It's a banger. Oh, let's see. I have a Master's of Science in Social Work. You and I have this mental health thing down, girl. Tinkerbell. How would you feel about coming up here and talking about it? I'm not asking you to show your face or anything. I think that would be something that would be really interesting to talk about. I have, but it's because I've worked in the jail and prison system, and people be smuggling stuff into the jail up their butt and everything else. Right. Charlotte coming through with a big brain energy. Well, what we can do, if you'll email me, Tink, we'll work out a date and a time, and I'll schedule a stream. And from there, what I'll do is I will put the link for StreamYards into the chat, and you click on it, and it's going to take you to StreamYard, and you just put in what info that you want shown. And you should just be able to open it like on your laptop or on your desktop. You can actually even open it on your phone. But the laptop and the desktop are a little bit easier to maneuver than phone iOS, But I think that would be fun to do. I mean, we've had plenty of conversations about foodies' mental health, and having somebody with actual degreed work behind their name, I think that would be awesome. Exactly. This is another one who claims to be a genius. Okay, so if you would just whenever you get a chance, just shoot me an email, and we'll get that on lock. It'll be if you're okay with it, me, you, and Hannibal. You know what I'm saying? And we'll have us a good old time. It's always a hoot when Hannibal's involved, and Hannibal's a very smart guy. He actually does a lot of work too, sort of from similar to ours. So I think it'll be great, a great discussion. Right. Pixie's representing in the house tonight. That's what I'm talking about. Before she starts throwing shade on people doing this documentary, she needs to rub her coochie and sniff her hand, because sis has way bigger fish to fry. That girl. That right there, we gonna pin that. We're just gonna pin that, because that right there just sums it all up. We all see she acts like an imbecile. She doesn't. I agree. See, we have a good time. We have a ball when we do them. Y'all don't know me. Heather's been my homegirl for the longest time, because we think so much alike. She just, a lot of times she'll say stuff that I'm thinking, and I won't even realize she's thinking it too. It's wild. We have a good time.
Second, I have not done anything so terrible as to warrant that much criticism.
X'd it out, my dear.
I'm sorry, but it's true. People pick apart every little detail. Irrelevant, trivial details.
Really? Okay. Let's just break down these irrelevant, trivial details here. Okay. Racism, bigotry, false accusation of SA, false accusation of DV. Okay. Alibying somebody accused of rape when they weren't even with them, animal abuse multiple times over, okay? being a culture vulture, impersonating a religion, Oh, Jesus. What else am I missing, y'all? Because I know y'all got more. Y'all know what I just covered. What else am I missing? Oh, driving intoxicated multiple occasions and doing it on camera, actively using substances while driving on camera. Yes, I talked about all of those. Yep. Animal abuser all day long. We covered that. Oh, tax evader. Let's add tax evader too. Did that too. Doxer. Multiple rounds of doxing. Dee Dee's mom, FFG. Perfectly imperfect. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. Showing the Hitler salute. Mm-hmm. Yep. All to appease a crackhead. Tell us how insignificant. Oh yeah. Posting OnlyFans pictures of your hoo-ha and you rolling around in a bathtub full of peeps, ma'am. Attacking children and parents. That's another thing. Let's go there, because this whole everybody has their own journey, and unless you're walking in their shoes, you don't know anything about that. Okay, so let's talk about all the varying things that you're not allowed to give an opinion on because you're not walking in their shoes. You're not allowed to talk about people's kids anymore because you don't have kids. You don't know anything about raising kids, okay? Let's not talk about people's parenting skills because you've never been a parent. You never will be a parent. Thank God for society at large. You don't know nothing about that, okay? Weight loss because you've never actually lost weight or kept it off, so you wouldn't know nothing about that either, okay? Anything medically based because you have zero medical training and no amount of conversations with your doctor or the nurses or anybody that you encounter makes you educated enough to have an opinion, okay? So there's that. Anything that requires any kind of formal education at all is above and beyond your level of capability. So that is one more thing that you can't actually talk about either. So let's see. What else? You can't talk about anybody's religion because unless you're Jewish or Christian or Baptist or Catholic in any method whatsoever, then you can't talk about any of those things because you are not any of those things. Let's see. You can't speak for other people as to what is and is not offensive because you are not mentally or physically disabled. You are also not African American. You are also not Muslim, Hindu, or any other race. So you can't speak to what's offensive for other people. There is a litany of things, ma'am, in relation to life experience and knowledge that you are 100% exempt from because your experience and your knowledge is so fucking limited that the only thing that you really have an actual expertise in is ordering DoorDash. A minor one, eating makeup. That one to me was fucking hysterical. She can't talk about being normal, well-adjusted, healthy person, nor can she talk about being someone that has been through trauma, survived, and come out the other side stronger. Thank you. We're working that way because you know that comes up ahead of us. Yep. There you go. Facts on that.
If I play a video game I suck at the first time I play it as a first timer amateur, which is normal, that somehow warrants a 5-hour live stream. Similarly with these documentaries.
Now I'm gonna make an assumption as to who she's talking about because I don't know too many people who actually watched that fucking stream. I can almost guarantee who she's talking about. Let's see. I can almost guarantee.
Hey guys.
Shut up. I can almost guarantee who she's talking about. Let's see. Oh. let's do videos here. Huh. This one would be the one that I would expect to do a 5-hour live stream. Because I can guarantee you, I don't know nobody else who actually took the time to actually to dedicate to doing a live stream on that bullshit gaming video. You know? Right. That'll be her. Up that too. Absolutely. I agree with you, Alexis. How are you doing? It's good to see you, by the way. Oh, but you know, she don't want to talk about that though. She don't want to talk about that. Chantel is extremely vindictive, manipulative, offensive, vile POS. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Don't somebody be sure to donate Alexis a coffee for her extensive, knowledgeable repertoire. I say stay away from Breezy as possible day one, at least 2.5 years ago. Honey, trust, I got, first off, real quick, I don't normally talk about that, but I will say this. At one point, very early in, I did watch that channel. But number one, the voice is incredibly grating. Number two, it turned less into I'm here as somebody in recovery who I want to help people. I'd like her to get help. I'm here trying to be an example, to quickly turning into I'm going to lash out at everybody unless everybody kisses my ass. So, yeah. And when the circumstances went into attacking somebody brand new in sobriety, that just threw everything completely off the rails. I was like, fuck that, fuck her, and fuck everything about her. So that just kind of summed it up for me. So yeah, now she's not getting a view from me. She does not have, since it was made clear that one doesn't care what I think, she no longer has access to my Twitter, so that she can't use my independent thought to make money, since she has no independent thought of her own. So there, you now have the cliff notes on my level of expertise on that one. I don't think anyone did. She's just talking smack. She kind of wishes, you know, right. It's just like, so grating. I am actually. Oh, you must be talking. Are you talking to me, Alexis? I might be. She swung being a worse drunk than anyone else to being better sober person than anyone else in her mind. Oh yeah. Yeah. But you know, and I'm sure somebody's going to send this to her. I don't give a fuck. I said what I said, and I ain't taking not near a bit of it back. There's multiple videos of me calling her out, none of which has been responded to, and I don't think ever will be. So it is what it is. I meant that I got away from her and her channel. I asked her a question. She flipped out. I don't lose sleep over that. Me either, girl. Oh, me either. I'm so sorry. And anyone else, I traveled the U.S. hiking. Actually, it was my read on her right away. Her and some of them people. Oh, thank you. That's exactly what I've been saying. But do you want to hear something interesting? When I had that conversation I did a single live stream with Gigi to talk about sobriety. When I made the comment that the widely viewed perspective is that if you are using substances, then you are actually not considered to be sober. And do you know I had people come after me in that chat saying that it was not for me to dictate what sobriety is for somebody. And I was like, you do know that the founders of 12-step programs and of treatment as a whole is mandated, saying that sobriety is a life or physical capability, mental or physically, without the alteration of substance. Okay. So, but do you know, I had people tell me that, that if somebody, the way it was put to me was, as long as they're not using their substance of choice, then they're sober. And I was like, okay, that's my cue to back the fuck out of this conversation, because I'm not fixing to argue with nobody. If you want to call yourself sober, you call yourself sober. But I'll tell you one thing. I deal with life 100% sober every single day through the hardest moments that I have ever had to experience, dry as a fucking bone, and never using anything stronger than tramadol. Right there. Heather knows. Heather has known me for a long time. She has known me before I started drinking. She knew me through the drinking. She knew me through sobriety. She knows. It is night and day. There is no middle ground on that. Once I stop talking about someone, to someone, or for someone, I try not to talk openly about them, but this community has dark, dirty cobwebs with spiders and with snake venom. Well, here's the deal. This is the first time I've had a conversation about any of this in a while. And in all sincerity, I'm kind of at a stage where I just flat don't care anymore. I mean, at this point, I have pretty much told everything that there is to know. I mean, I don't hide who I am, because I am not that person anymore, quite literally. And I am not fixing to apologize for who I am. Not after all the work that I have put into becoming this person. Whether people like it or not is not my concern. So if I'm into opiates, but I drink a fifth of Jack, I'm sober, right? Well, I'm going to tell you, the general consensus is no, but I know people that have done that. I had a friend that was actually a girl that I knew. I called her a friend at the time. She was a methamphetamine user. She got sober from methamphetamines, and then she started drinking. And yeah, that's where me and her kind of went off the rails, because we would go places and do things. Like she would go to karaoke with me, and she would get so damn plastered that I was basically babysitting her all night. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I kind of cut ties. I've never had an issue with drinking, but didn't like how it made me feel. I haven't drank in over a year, and I feel so much better. And see, and that's amazing. That is an amazing thing. Alcohol is actually, I mean, obviously it was designed at a time that it could be used as medicine to an extent, but it is also very much a poison. It can do all sorts of negative things to your body, physically and mentally. So, I can talk though. I just don't at this point. You either know me or you don't. Facts, 100% there. Heather, she was teasing. Abby was joking. Hey, abs, that's the country in us. I do too. I don't get to do it very often. I need to make a point at some point here soon to find me somewhere to go sing, because I haven't sang in ages. I stopped drinking in 2020 and don't miss it. It was starting to give me indigestion. Yeah, I could see that. That's actually not an uncommon complaint, And you wanted the scary thing? You quit drinking in 2020, but do you know a lot of people took up drinking like really heavily during the lockdown period? They they said the instances of, substance abuse actually went up, like exponentially up. It's really wild. Right. Absolutely. They were mixed in with all sorts of stuff being called a cure-all, so it's wild, but they have devastating effects on the body. Oh, for fuck's sake, math is so bad here. I had to help out some young kids when I was in PT for my knee. He was tweaking hard. I was afraid for them. Quietly took them aside. God bless you for looking out for them. Gee, sorry, that baby sound flippant. I just mean if I'm here as myself and those who love me do and those who don't own my calendar or clock. Facts, hey, or wallet. Exactly. And y'all have heard me say that, in relation to these girls, the only thing that I have control over is what I give other people to talk about, which I have said about about Squeaker too. Same perspective. You can't be angry about what people perceive about you when you're the one that dictates what they see. It's applicable to all the law cows. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just one of those things. Like me, I know people are going to look at me and they're not going to like what they see or what I have to say. And that's fine. But, realistically, if people wonder where I'm coming from or what I meant by something, they can ask. But most of the time they choose not to. And it is what it is. What opinion they develop of me is really none of my business, because I can't control it. Girl. Yeah, I read an article that people between 20s and 40s were going to the hospital more for pancreatitis. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's a sad state of affairs, man. All right. Now that we done went off the rails, y'all. Let's keep going.
A 3-hour ordeal on me eating pasta and going on and off diets and talking about my abuser and low-key victim shaming.
Ooh. You ain't got no justification to talk about somebody victim shaming.
Sorry, former abuser. This new series about to come up.
Okay, let's talk about this. Shout out to Erie Pepperoni doing the Lord's work out here. The Pizza Mafia is rolling through, y'all. Give it up for Erie Pepperoni in this bomb-ass edit.
Been watching. Couldn't help myself. Watching. Waiting. Only my breath.
This is a bop too.
Oh my god, I'd end up fucking killing him on this trip. I would end up killing him. I didn't talk shit about him. Don't be mad to talk shit about him. I want to break something. I'm seriously fucking mad. I'm so fucking mad. I'm so fucking mad. What am I even fucking doing with my life? Honestly. Cheating piece of shit. Fuck you. I'm gonna talk shit about you online because I'm fucking mad at you. I hate you. And that pisses him off.
You see that question. I can tell y'all there have been a few times where we have talked about her abuse allegations and the fact that she feels like she's being victim shamed. As somebody who's been in abusive relationships, the last thing that I was going to do was talk shit or provoke that man. Now, thankfully, it never progressed to physical violence, but there was no way in hell I was going to push him to actually provoke that. Nobody in their right mind who is actually being physically abused is going to talk shit, get the other person riled up, and then run back over there to them and get in their face and demand that they spend time with them. But, you know, what the fuck do I know?
She was like hitting on him. So he's saying she was like thirsty for him and trying to grab his dick and everything. She was aggressive. He's saying she was like aggressively horny for him, like, and it like freaked him out, and he like ran away. And he's like, the camera will show me. He's like, I hope there's cameras at the hotel because they'll show me running down the street. She was following me. He's like, she was following me down the street. So if I raped her, why is she following after me? He's like, I want the cameras to show that. Like I said, I've seen the messages where she was like saying that she was rejected. So it sounded like she was scorned to me. That's all I know. It is all gossip, but everyone's speculating about it. She's talking about it, Charlotte, on her fucking channel. So you're putting it in public. So you know what? Anyone gets to talk about it. So screw you and your fucking privacy.
By the way, I'm going to clip that. And we're going to turn that into one of the lovely videos, one of the lovely little stream editions on here, because every time she whines, cries, and bitches about somebody having anything to say, that's going to be the response.
I don't give a fuck. Maybe he's lying, but it doesn't mean I have to like me. You are a weirdo. You flew all the way to another country to what? Fuck my fucking boyfriend at the time? Fuck you. I wish you saw the messages. She sounded so fucking bitter. She was not aggressive with me with that, though. Like, not the way she was saying. There is reason to dislike me. She said some nasty shit about me. She seems like she was an obsessed fan who wanted to insert herself. Just like fucking
100%.
She was fucking amazing. Her story has more holes than Swiss cheese. She's full of shit. Obviously, I hope nothing did happen, but I really just instinctively, I feel like nothing did. She wants attention from this. Otherwise, she would not be, I'm going to meet up and I'm doing videos. She wouldn't be doing that. Sorry. Let's all just laugh and be used by her messages to me. Again, if you are raped, you don't follow your rapist around the corner chasing him for sex. So number one, if that did happen. Number two, you don't message them the next day giving them shit for ignoring you, for rejecting you. You don't do it. I saw those with my own eyes. He's a lot of things, and yes, he was abusive to me in a lot of ways, but not to that degree. So I don't know. It's weird she came at all, exactly.
I have been watching. Couldn't help myself. Watching. Waiting. Holding my breath.
What did you do? You put that lying bitch on the stand.
That's my case.
Shout out to Erie Pepperoni for that banging ass workup. That right there is why we stand the Pizza Mafia. Oh, girl. Between her, okay, there's a couple channels. I can't even. Ooh, y'all. I am not genuinely an envious type of person, but I am hella envious of people who are capable of producing videos like that. I have seriously, and I mean seriously, I have got to step up my game, y'all. I look like a whole fool over here doing what I'm doing. I should be more capable than I am right now, y'all. I got to put some work in. I got to put some work in. Lord have mercy. All right, let's see. Right. Cabela was around for a long time. Well, based on what Nader had to say, because Nader actually did a response to this on his channel, I listened to maybe a couple of minutes of it because, listening to him talk basically sounds like he's got a mouthful of marbles. He said that he didn't mention hearing from her when she came back, but he did say that she was fully planning on canceling the trip to Cuba if he had left and went away with her. So, yeah. Oh, she absolutely is. That's part of why I'm looking forward to hooking up with Twink, because Twink is actually going to be able to give us a little bit more insight, because I have some mental health experience from taking care of people who have them, and I'm familiar with the medications and all that stuff, but she's got her mental health knowledge is going to be far more extensive than mine, and that is why I dig our community here, why Girl World is such an amazing place, because we have such a vast array of people in relation to education, experience, and all of that jazz. We may be individually, we may not have a lot to offer, but as a whole, collectively, oh man, we would be a force to be reckoned with. We could really kind of address everything, and no matter what the angle, Oh, there's no doubt about that. No question. She has actually admitted that, and we've seen it. She was very financially abusive. No question on that. We saw that plenty of times over. Agreed. Hey, Fed. I've been listening in the background while doing reports back on active duty, traveling East Coast to different field offices. Miss seeing my Girl World friends every day. Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that you were able to stop in and just touch base with us, and I hope all is well with you. It's good to have you here. I hope you're having a good time. Sorry if I go too far off the rails, baby. Tink, I'll put it in. I'm putting it in the chat for you. I don't know. That's a good question. Let's see. I feel like I missed some stuff here. I come on here for all you know, and the best way to delivering it. I'm so glad you think I'm funny. I'll be truthful with you. Most of the time, like if I'm trying to be funny, for some reason, it seems to miss the mark. It's mostly like facial expression and just the way that I say things that tends to make people laugh, and usually it's not when I'm trying. You're good. We're here for your personality and not your technical ability. I know, but I can't help it. I feel like I'm just not doing it justice, if you know what I mean. There's so many talented people and they're so creative. I feel like I'm just like, I just don't feel like I'm doing as well as I should, I can always do better, is what I'm saying. That's all. Good sound advice has helped me tremendously over the last couple of years and the community. Agreed. Individually, we are single legumes, but together we comprise a whole nut. That is such a creative way to put it. I love that. I was debating with a person on Twitter how she thinks Girl World is so toxic and hateful, and I told her I also think it can be positive and informative. I mentioned your channel. Oh, Lordy girl, that they gonna be some that's gonna be out here going, she's calling this woman a bitch and a heifer. Not for everybody, not for everybody. I done had some people, I done had people leave comments talking about, ooh, you're a nurse and you smoke, or ooh, you cuss, ooh. It's like, bro, I'm human, I'm just harsh, but I'm glad you think so, Alexis, and I'm glad there are plenty enough people who think that I actually bring something to the table and I educate and inform and all that stuff, because that's kind of part of my aim. I mean, obviously, hanging out with you guys is really kind of a high point of dealing with all this BS, All right. Well, give squinches to the little boy for us. Right. Well, I hope so. I mean, not everything that I'm going to do is obviously informative or educational. I mean, most of what I'm saying in here is like tonight. Most of this is me going off, you know. Right. It can be. It can be, but it's also extremely, extremely rewarding. You know, I've told people that, you know, if I got bogged down on if I got bogged down in all the negative aspects of the job, then I would, especially like the dying part of it, that I would probably never put scrubs on again. But it's the small wins that keep you coming back. Hey, I can't help it. You know I can't help it. These people irritate me, girl. Crabby. Hi, crab apples. Jericho D. I don't know if I'm familiar. Hang on. I don't know if I'm familiar. Let's see. Is it D? Jericho D. Let's see. Oh, no. Oh, shut up. Let me do this. Let me subscribe so that I gotta subscribe, because if you're wanting me to give any sort of what for, I'm gonna have to go and look at some. I'm gonna have to go look at some bitches. What be that? It won't let me. Okay, hang on a minute. I'm gonna have to go about this cheater's way here. Much as I hate to do this, nope. Oh Lord, let's see. Let's see if this is as bad as I think it's gonna be.
God. Are you kidding? You people are actually dumb. Like, how can do you not see the hypocrisy? Seriously. Oh my God. Oh my God. My head is a third of the size of yours. A third. What do you look like? You're so ashamed of your big face, fat basket head, and grandpa ears that you hide behind an avatar. Really? Don't make me bring up your picture.
What? What is this?
Yeah. Do you know who I'm talking about here? Somebody who beat the shit out of me on a regular basis.
Which I find funny, because, you know, if he actually beat the shit out of her, she would have said something.
Yes, like not like he didn't like physically hit me, but other things happened.
Do I care what happens to him when he goes there? No. Do you want me to care for somebody who punched me in the face? What do you expect, me to be nice to this guy who punched me in the face and burned me with cigarettes and held me in his apartment against his
None of which we saw any evidence of.
will?
Yes, like not like he didn't like physically hit me, but other things happened.
Yeah, it is pathetic. It is pathetic. She is pathetic. Yes, you're right.
Pathetic.
In the most modest way. I don't know do you not have a mirror in your Motel 6 room or what? Is that extra? This is the reason I was like that. I was lied to, cheated on, manipulated, and abused. Okay?
Yes, like not like he didn't like physically hit me, but other things happened.
Like, her angle is that I'm pathetic, and that it's pathetic.
Pathetic.
Call your queen here, Chinny. Look at this basketball head with grandpa ears. Okay. But no, and even though after he hit me, I went on live stream crying about it and talking about it, and Shannon confirmed it. But no, it didn't happen, right, B? Okay.
Yes, like not like he didn't like physically hit me, but other things happened.
So this what makes her a better reactor than me, right? Her swearing and acting belligerent. Okay, you don't get that? No, you believe he's aggressive? You fucking two-faced fucking losers. Don't you want to be a fucking loser asshole for nothing? Oh, bravo. In the most modest way. I keep talking over her. All she does is say the F word. How is that any valid point? And fuck you and your fucking chicken burger fucking gifting. I don't need it. You were gifting things in Matters chat. Suck it.
Sounds not right. Get the fuck out.
Yes, it is. You're deliberately like butchering his name just on purpose, just to be a jerk.
All of you.
And he's from a different culture. Are you kidding me? You guys gave me crap for the Charlie Cole comment when it was literally directly related to the gold. Okay, it wasn't even her real name.
She's a piece of shit. So here's the thing, Charlie Cole.
A simple Google search will show you the racial undertones that are connected to that, with people of color, Black people, and the term Cole.
Pathetic. It is racist. It is racist. I'm sorry. To make fun of his name is from a different culture. FFG is deliberately taking Salah's legal real name, Muslim name, his real name, and completely changing it in a malicious manner. He's a turd because he was an abuser. Him, the N-word, is a turd. So I'm insulting him, okay? She has no reason to insult because he was my abuser. Do you get it?
Yes, like not like he didn't like physically hit me, but other things happened.
I changed my statement. Did it say you lied? No, it says I changed my statement. That's what it is. Meaning I fucking asked for stuff to be dropped. I'm okay. Like, how are people saying that I'm hateful? Cindy, you're a brain dead moron as well. Turkish coffee, shut the hell up. Oh, shut up, Kate. You're not even friggin' Muslim. Get a life. And I'm not hateful. Oh, shut up, J-Rod, you fat little leprechaun. Get out of here. You don't know what I do, Asia. Worry about your own self. You're disgusting. In the most modest way. It's pathetic. Pathetic. You believe her fucking sob story, but you don't believe me, so fuck you. It's pathetic. Pathetic. Nobody gets it. Nobody gets it, or that, or just people hate me so much, they're willing to support a fucking rapist, fucking abuser. That's real nice. That's
Holy
real
hell.
nice. You're pathetic, okay? Pathetic. How do you feel about Negs making death jokes about you on Twitter? I don't think about Negs at all.
When I'm to cover my head and my chin. She has decided to cover herself in the fashion of women who live in countries where they have no choice but to do just that. She has made a mockery of women in Iran and Somalia and Pakistan. And
I gotta say this. It's an interesting choice that she used her, given the type of response that she has to Girl World now that she's not a part of it.
other countries who are fighting tooth and nail to be able to remove those hateful patriarchal coverings and live as equal citizens in a free society.
Yeah, she's pathetic. Anyway. If you marry a Roman, you can become a Canadian citizen.
We go to Tunisia and get ourselves a Mohammed.
This pie tomorrow? Oh, you know it. You know I'm going to manipulate the fuck out of you. And you're going to eat it up and you're going to watch me. These people are pathetic.
Pathetic.
Oh, I gotta kill that because that holler at the end. Woo, Lord have mercy, y'all. Let's close that. So, okay, that is probably, yeah, you are probably hearing Kitty Cat TV. I've got it on in the living room. You know that all my bunch over here, he is especially entranced with it now. The other two have gotten kind of to the point where like, not on her, it ain't, girl. How you doing, Kathy? Imagine her sitting there marking religion and niqab while whining and insulting people. I know, right? Girl, hey, you better be glad that you got roped into this when you did, because at that time frame that was going on, she did like hour-long live streams where she would literally eat and be talking with her mouth full the entire time. So you're actually getting a break. But on here, I whittled down the videos and whittled down the stream so that the eating is not included. You know what I mean? Because I can't stand to listen to it. The night she was mocking the school shooting, she was upset because Nader wouldn't speak to her. And she got totally obliterated. I don't like the people in this video, but wow, this was well put together. I agree. Like, that's what I'm saying. I can't believe she actually included what's her face in it, because you know she has been vehemently anti-girl world since she's not a part of it anymore. Hi, Beach Flower. Good to see you. Anyway, I had a flashback of when she was sitting at the desk eating and a wad of hair came out in her food and she still ate it. Blah. I totally agree with the small wins keeping us going. I see terrible things, but when I help put a child trafficker behind bars, it keeps me going. It's also why Chantel's lies infuriate me. True, agreed wholeheartedly on that, you know. Yeah, that too. Right, having the, and I think the fried chicken in the drawer was old at that point. It had been there for days. Yikes. Well, hey, you're welcome. I'm sparing you the nasty part. That was Jericho D. I'm surprised normally the videos are a lot harder, but this was well done. I agree. It wholeheartedly was. But one more to make me feel a little inferior about my editing skills. I mean, come on, y'all. I got, for real, I got to step up my game just a little bit, you know. Right, yeah, her eating mac and cheese with the back scratcher because she was too lazy to find a spoon or a fork. It's just like, oh, come on.
Well, again,
let's keep going.
This has this ridiculous cinematic trailer. And the first sentence from the intro song they so carefully chose for it starts with basically, "You are the reason your father wasn't there." Nice choice of song. Blaming a child for their father being a deadbeat, absent parent, it's never the child's fault. I can tell already by the stage that was set with this trailer, this will also be a load of crap series. But nonetheless, it's very lucrative because there's a lot of haters who will eat it up with a fork and spoon. Like I said, beating...
Well, you know, honestly, and I'm going to say this, take it how you will. I'm okay with these people viewing this and eating it with a fork and a spoon as opposed to digging their big old meaty hands into it like you do, dear.
A dead horse. We already heard my life story. We already blamed me for dropping
She's
the
not
charges,
intelligent
which
enough
if you
to put that
simply
together.
use Google, many women in narcissistic abusive situations do that. It's the past. I don't live there anymore. You are reliving someone's trauma and someone's past for your own gain. It's weird and all too common. Anything I have gone through is normal because many have gone through similar things. Getting too drunk and saying things we don't mean.
Woo! Wait a minute. Let's back up a little bit. Number one. Oh, fucking A. Okay, where do I start? Jesus H. Christ. You can't live in the past because you are effectively rewriting it every other day to suit your needs. Okay? If you acknowledge the past and actually did something about it, there would be no need for you to constantly rewrite it and continue to deny it. You also would not have to continually holler over and over again about how you're not that person and how you've changed. Because if you acknowledge the past, you learn from it and did something about it, you would actually be a better person and you wouldn't have to declare yourself that, because let's be realistic here. Good people or changed people don't have to declare themselves as such. They just are. So there's that. Sorry. Y'all notice I didn't look at the damn camera. I was on a train of thought there. All right, let's talk about this getting drunk thing and saying shit that they don't mean. First off, as somebody who's a recovering alcoholic who has done nothing for years but get shit face plastered and say shit that I would never have said when I was stone cold sober, it doesn't change the fact that my being drunk does not relieve me of responsibility for the things that I've said when I was drunk. I was drunk is not a get out of jail free card. Yep. Exactly. It is 100% a truth serum. It is a truth serum all day long. Secondarily, I can tell you right now, I done been around plenty of drunk people, and I do mean plenty of drunk people in my time frame. As a drunk person and as a sober person, I ain't never met not one person who wasn't a bigot when they were sober, who was a bigot when they were drunk. Alcohol simply amplifies who you are. It takes the filter away so that you don't have any inhibitions. That is all. So, yeah. But saying that, alcohol is not a get out of jail free card, I mean that quite in the literal sense, because there are plenty of people who kill folks day in and day out drunk driving, who kill people, actually unalive people, because of anger issues when they're drunk. There are people who do all sorts of stuff under the intoxication of substances that do not get a slap on the wrist or let go completely because they were drunk when they did things. If that were the case, there would be a lot less people in the correctional system overall, not just in county jails, but in the prison too. So that's not an excuse.
For example, Cuba rage gets rubbed in my face like I give a crap that I raged on my abuser after being subjected to a weekend of having my car keys and phone hidden and being pushed into situations I was not comfortable with.
All right, let's address that. Number one, you not having your car keys and your phone means absolutely nothing when I'm pretty sure that there is a phone within walking distance, probably less than 10 feet from the front door to Dee Dee's apartment. So let's just not even get into that. You could find somebody's apartment, knock on the door and say, hey, could you call the police for me? Someone is trying to keep my phone and my keys from me, and I need them to relinquish them to me so that I can go home. So there's that. Number two, here we are. I'm being forced to do things that I don't want to do. First of all, ma'am, unless he sat on your back and shoved your head into Dee Dee's hoo-ha, there is no way that he forced you to do anything. Secondarily, let's just say this too. That particular weekend was not the only time that you muff dived, and let's just not even talk about that, right? Because, God forbid you actually have to acknowledge that you were so desperate that you went down on a woman that you despised more than once, simply to get a crackhead to keep you around. But, we don't want to talk about that, do we?
The Uvalde incident. I didn't write pumped up kicks, by the way. I didn't attack kids. That is something that gets twisted again. This is a perfect example. I remember sobbing for them and mocking the gun culture of the U.S. because it's not a secret that the U.S. has a problem with shooters. There's a shooting every other day. I was also very drunk, and maybe my delivery was in poor taste, but I would never mock deceased children.
Ma'am, I do believe that there has been circumstances where you have made light of the fact that you have had 2 abortions. I do believe that there's at least one instance that I know of that you have called children demons. So the fact that you made a mockery of the killing of 19 children is highly believable. No one said that you wrote Pumped Up Kicks. That song has been around forever. Everybody knows about that song. They also know exactly what it's supposed to mean. It is not satire, ma'am. It is actually commentary on society. So let's just talk about that. But, let's just get into the whole, as much as I hate talking about politics, let's just get into the whole gun conversation, okay? Number one is somebody who lives in Canada who, by the way, still has access to guns, because you've already admitted that, saying that your stepdad would shoot somebody in the face for knocking on the door at their house. I don't really think that you have any justification for trying to brigade against guns as a whole. I'm sorry, but you just don't. I don't even want to hear what justification you make from that. And again, the being drunk has fuck all to do with it. And it has nothing to do with the actual song itself. It has to do with the fact that you were sitting there dancing to it and doing finger guns at the camera. And the fact that you were like, I like that song. This makes me an asshole, doesn't it? And you did laugh. That was the problem, not the song.
Again, another example of how things get twisted to make me look bad. Well, if people want to believe these things about me, I don't care. Recently, I was accused of giggling while telling a true crime story. Again, to make me look like a villain. Giggling because the perpetrator had a funny last name. Not because someone was victimized, you morons. My cat's nail situation.
All right. Tell us you Miss SA. Tell us you've never been essayed without telling us you've never been essayed. Because I'm going to tell you what it is about this particular circumstances and the fact that you were giggling through telling the story of a woman being drugged by her physician, who, by the way, is somebody she should have been able to trust emphatically. Oh my God, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, as somebody who is a survivor of SA, anybody who has had to deal with that themselves would carry a level of empathy and commiseration for that woman's experience, her emotions, and all of the shit that she had to go through after the fact. Even if the physician had a name like Schneeberger or however the hell you pronounce it, nobody would find that shit funny. Nobody. That would be why people had an issue with you giggling through trying to tell a story that you, number one, didn't care enough about to actually read all of, but add to it, you turned it into content filler so that because you have nothing to talk about. Stick to what you know, because that is not your lane. Jesus Christ. Right. She absolutely was. Exactly. That really wouldn't even have helped Okie Doll. It didn't matter. Even if she had written notes, she didn't care enough. She didn't care. She has zero respect for anybody else's experiences but her own. That's the problem.
Again, I've explained a million times what happened. I don't care if you don't believe it or not, and I certainly don't care if I'm hated.
Well, that works out because nobody believes you and nobody is ever going to believe you and nobody is ever going to like you because of what you did to an innocent animal who relied on you for its every basic need.
I get asked that a lot. Do you care you are so hated? No, of course not. I'm also very loved. And I'm grateful to...
Since when? Hey, Catface. Spot on. There we go. Yep. Hey, this will be probably the 1000th time that she said she's not going to talk about it.
Have experienced everything in my life because I trust in God's plan for me. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, people like to throw the fact that as a 15-year-old, I faked an unaliving incident for attention.
First off, boo-boo, you admitted to that. You admitted to faking it. It's also been put out there that you lied about that. That you lied about it. Shannon has outed your bullshit.
I was very mentally ill. I was admitted to inpatient even, and I had a lot of issues.
I love how she said, I was very mentally ill. Ma'am, you are still mentally ill.
Again, that was 25 years ago. So get out of my face with that. Some of you haven't even been alive that long.
That has nothing to do with it. It has to do with the fact that here we are, 25 years later, you are still lying about it. It sets a pattern of behavior. I'm going to lie my ass off for attention. I'm going to continue to lie about what I lied about. And when it blows up in my face, I'm going to play victim as I continue to lie about the original lie. Hey, it was honest. Hey, God's like, leave me out of this. Right. Same. 25 years ago, I had a career. I had a home that was paid for. I had a vehicle that was paid for. I already had an education. So, I mean, come on now. I mean, Jesus Christ. Exactly. It shouldn't really, Mary. How you doing, by the way? It shouldn't really. I mean, we know. I mean, if her lips are moving, she's lying. That's pretty much her MO.
Why are you all still ruminating and obsessing over my past when it's something I've moved on from? Certain incidents I have learned from and moved on. I grew up. As for the whole thing with Nattered...
Wait, I'm sorry. You've moved on and you've grown up. Ma'am, growing out does not equal growing up. Growing up would imply a level of mental and emotional maturity development that you don't have. But God forbid she listened to that. Let's talk about Nader, though.
I don't talk about that at all anymore, if you haven't noticed, for a reason. I've moved on. So should all of you. That was a deeply traumatic time in my life, and the victim shaming and exploiting the situation over and over is gross. It's gross how people don't believe my story, even though there is video evidence of him being an abuser on video.
Oh, but wait now. But wait now, ma'am. Let's just talk about this. Let's just talk about it. All right. Moved on, but we're talking about him right now. We've brought him up over and over again over the last year when you were supposedly in a honeymoon phase from being married. You've actually had your robot bitch tits severely lacking in the Johnson husband bring him up on your part. You have called him every name under the book other than his actual name as a method of disrespect, which is interesting because you like to say that that's racist. Let's just not even go into that. You want to claim that he traumatized you, he beat you, he SA'd you, but here you are, and you are still trying to utilize that to your advantage even now, when it has been disproven. Secondarily, when you bring up this video of him assaulting Dee Dee, that has nothing to do with you. Him laying hands on her does not automatically imply or prove that he laid his hands on you. If you look at the circumstances of that video, which was really disgusting. What prompted him actually laying hands on Dee Dee is the fact that she stood up to him, that she called him out, that she didn't toe the line. That's what got hands put on her for. You, on the other hand, my dear, every single time he gave you 2 seconds of attention, you fell right back into line. The only reason that you did or said anything out of the way is because you weren't up in the house with him. You weren't up in the bed with him. And it was because, all of that was because Dee Dee was in his bed. Dee Dee was in his house, and Dee Dee had his attention. Let's just say right off the bat here, because I'll throw this in here too. You sat there and laughed about it. You actually hoped that he would beat her. You specifically said it. Tell us you have an issue right off the bat. Tell us that you've never been abused without telling us you've never been abused, because let's be realistic here. Anybody who's actually been abused would not wish that hell on anybody, especially not the woman who came after you. The ex that I was with that was extremely mentally and emotionally abusive to me, when he was gone, I was fucking relieved. And when I found out from his uncle that he had met somebody else and moved right into their house, and the girl was physically disabled, I was fucking terrified for her. Terrified for her. And I will tell you no lie, I prayed for that girl many times. So, no, a lot of fucking people out here don't believe you, and it's because there is good reason. You have given many, many valid reasons why. Secondarily, let's throw this in here too, because I don't know who's going to watch this, and I'm just going to say it. When the math ain't mathing, it just ain't mathing. Okay? That's just the way it goes. And I'm sorry, but if you take any little bit of what I say out of context and you clip it to try to justify arguing on this one's behalf, then you are just as much a piece of garbage as she is. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, and Doo-Doo, you can keep your abusive, kitchen-burning, belly-dancing, cigarette money-leeching man baby. But anyway.
And see, that right there proves my point. Exactly. All of it. 100%.
Even if no one believes it, I don't care. I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you make 1,000 crappy documentaries about the same subjects.
15 minutes worth of talking about how she don't care. You bothered. We know you bothered. It's fine.
Most of the information provided for the series was not given by me, someone who's actually lived these experiences, but rather from haters or people with a negative view on my life and personality.
I can't wait to see what she's going to say when she sees all of her own fucking words and video used against her.
People think they know me and my past more than I do myself, which is just absurd, for obvious reasons. These documentaries are therefore the least credible sources of information on me out there.
Tell us you've never seen a documentary without telling us you've never seen a documentary. But we'll keep going.
Yes, sure, I have an eating disorder. I can't follow through with much and blah, blah, blah. We all heard this before. But I'm still here and I'm still trying and I'm not giving up.
Where?
Most times you're wrong about me. It's no surprise, though, seeing as you listen to critics, quote unquote, critics who are big jokes. They say I'm not married, for example, and you believe it without proof.
No. I'm going to be one of the few that I say that I do believe that there is some sort of marriage documentation involved. But what I am going to say is that it's not a loving marriage. She may be in love with him, but he's not in love with her. I mean, not trying to be ugly, but I mean, you can tell when there's chemistry there. You can tell when the get down is getting down. Just saying.
Even after I've stated that it is not legal for us to live together here if not married. No one listens and stories are made up because I'm not living the reality you have created for me. It doesn't fit your narrative. You were wrong. Most of you still think it's only a matter of time before I return to the dumpster fire life, and some are sick and waiting for this.
That's because, first off, we're not waiting on it. We know it's going to happen. We're just waiting to see when it happens. You first off, ma'am, Miss Oppositional Defiance Disorder, you could not deal with anything resembling stability. You get bored. You get angry. You could not deal with anything resembling a normal life. We've seen this. We know this about you. It's not a secret.
Some want me back with the abuser for entertainment. Can you imagine? Sounds like a study on yourself would be more interesting.
First off, nobody really wants you and him back together because, honestly, he wouldn't have you back even if you paid him. I mean, we saw that. I mean, you were still offering him money, and you were so toxic that a crackhead didn't want anything to do with you, even with money in hand, fanning it at him. What does that say about the level of toxicity that comes with being associated with you? But what people have said is that we all know that if he called you tomorrow and said, Chantal, I love you, please come home, you would run so fast on them wobbly, jacked up legs, even with a sciatica, girl. You'd be rolling like a tumbleweed through the damn airport to get to the plane.
I made some poor choices in life, but I learned from them and I move on.
Where?
Some I'm still working on. It's my life, my journey. All this drama is for nothing. People just still feeding off my past for profit. Another thing people need to knock it off with is this accusing me of exploiting things that happened to me in my life.
You do.
It's my life. I'm allowed to tell my story.
Okay, well, we're allowed to respond to it.
The only one exploiting things at this point are reactors and these dumb documentary makers. The past is the past. Move on.
Okay. Never mind.
So I'm not allowed to talk about my experiences, but you are allowed to talk about my experiences. Yes, I struggle with problems still in life, but they don't keep me down because why should they? We were designed to overcome things God throws at us. Read the Quran. It will help you understand these concepts.
This is the same woman who literally lashed out at somebody who was a actively practicing Muslim for trying to give her guidance before she took her Shahada. Make that make sense. You're telling non-believers to read the Quran when you lashed out at a Muslim woman for trying to help you. Can we say sanctimonious? But, let's talk about the I've learned from my mistakes thing. Okay. Cheated on by a man again and still went back. After you declared for ages that you would never let a man disrespect you again. Tell us how much you've learned.
People try so hard every day to bring you down, and it doesn't work, and it never will.
Girl, ain't nobody in girl world got to bring you down. Gravity is doing that plenty enough for all of us.
Examine your heads and think of why you so desperately want someone to fail. It's a bizarre common ground in gore world, and that's one of the reasons that community is a pile of dog crap.
Honestly, nobody is wishing that for you. We're just entertained by the fact that you're doing it to yourself. This is something for us to laugh at. That's all.
It exploits the same overweight women while most of the gore world people are obsessed, overweight, uneducated, uncultured weirdos.
Okay, let's back that up once just a little bit here. I want to hear that one more time.
Community is a pile of dog crap. It exploits the same overweight women while most of the Gore World people are obsessed, overweight, uneducated, uncultured weirdos.
Now, first off, you have no business really worrying about anybody else's size when you are literally twice the size of any reactor in Girl World put together. I know you're at least two times me, at least. Now, I would love to hear the justification behind you calling somebody uneducated when you dropped out of university in the first semester. I have my education, boo-boo. I finished my schooling. As a matter of fact, not only did I finish, but I've gone back. You know why? Because I like being able to have that extra credential so that I can make that extra money without having to come online and basically destroy my life and my health to gain some pocket money. Now, as to being uncultured, ma'am, you really can't say anything about being uncultured when you have none. The only culture that we know that you've got is the stuff creeping around in them skin folds, and you don't even want to get me going on that. Secondarily, I'm just going to add this. There is nothing wrong with being a weirdo. Because your definition of weirdo versus the definition of weirdo that I choose to go with is, yeah, hell yeah, man, I'm a weirdo. But I'm a fun kind of weirdo. I'm also a functioning type of weirdo. I have a life that don't have anything to do with Girl World. A lot of us in Girl World do. Again, this is entertainment, my dude. You're the only one taking this that seriously.
Anyway, I wanted to address that, so please don't ever come and ask me, have you seen the trailer for the new series on you? I don't care. I don't care if I get canceled again. I don't care if you don't like my content. I mean, here's another example of Girl World being ridiculous. Most of the reactors can't stand mukbangs, but watch every one I make in a 2-hour live stream.
Y'all notice here we are. We're at 3 hours, and there's only been one instance where she's actually put food in her mouth. But, just had to point that out.
Weirdos, voila. Anyway, I'm done giving my opinion on these matters, but to summarize, the outrage and exaggerated contrived drama for views is stupid and entertainment fit for those with low intelligence.
Really? Okay. Said by a woman who barely speaks one language proficiently and murders the fuck out of 2 others, who can't do math in any shape or form, who has no actual education in which to rely on to make herself worth anything, versus her peddling food into her mouth for money, who finds nothing but fart jokes and poop jokes funny. Sounds like somebody who don't need to be calling anybody names here.
And no, just because I give my opinion on something doesn't mean I'm affected or bothered by it.
Woo! Ain't some motherfucking doubt.
By that logic, the reactors who talk about every single thing I do and screech about it for 3 hours straight are super bothered then.
She hopes, she wishes.
I just get asked a lot about my thoughts on all this criticism, quote unquote, not constructive, most of it, and these are my thoughts.
Asked by people who you claim are supposed to be in your corner, who are your friends, who you love, who only do that shit because they love to see you worked up and they know that it'll get to you.
Oh, and by the way, some advice is given out of caring and a good place. I'm not attacking you people. Anyway, I get told a lot my channel is tanking and I'm boring. I don't see it that way. I'm at a different phase in my life, and for me, it's exciting. And even if I'm battling health issues and an eating disorder, I'm still grateful for all God has given me, and I don't place my self-worth in the words of Gore World or how much money I make. I saw one of these stupid documentaries talking about Boogie2988, another YouTuber, and while, yes, he has done controversial, not so nice things, sometimes the whole documentary was keeping track of his net worth and how much money he had. He even says he's worthless at one point because he has no money. Money does not determine your worth as a person.
Number one, let's just talk about that real quick. First off, this man, after going through this whole rigmarole and talking about how many subscribers he had as his channel built up and the fact that he was making a certain amount of money at any given time, him going on another YouTube channel to talk about how he was fucking broke after attaining a measure of money that he had never known before, that is where that came from. Okay. Secondarily, I expect this from her. I expect this from her. The woman who flexed over and over again and actually even brought it up in this live stream, her making $20,000 in a month. First of all, if it wasn't important to you, you wouldn't go out of your way to point out that you made $20,000 in a month. Okay. Secondarily, only a motherfucker who's broke will tell you that money isn't important. Now, is there the possibility that she's broke? Absolutely. Is it because she's not making any money? No. I think realistically, we all pretty much know that that money is going straight into Sala's hands where she doesn't have access to it. That's why she's fucking broke. It has nothing to do with her not making money. It just has to do with the fact that she's not seeing any of it. There's a difference.
The sad music documentary basically making a person seem worthless because they are broke.
Same.
Maybe God made him broke to teach him that his net worth is not measured in dollars and cents. But that's for him to learn.
Right.
I will never ever let money affect my emotions or gratitude for life. This is one big thing I've learned in life that has been so valuable to me. Well,
we'll see how long that lasts after this particular arc for her collapses.
Wealth is not monetary to me at all. At one point when I was making, let's say, $20,000 a month,
there it is.
I still wasn't happy. I blew through it just like Boogie did. And I don't care about it even 1% now.
Sure you don't.
How can I regret an experience I needed to happen to learn from it?
You didn't.
To learn that value of that money, I had to lose it first. This is how I try to look at life in a positive manner. It's not possible to avoid making human error. The important thing is to realize they will happen and learn from them. If you keep making the same error, you haven't learned how to deal with the problem yet.
Look in the day. You should be reading this stuff in the mirror to yourself, ma'am. You are rolling through hella smug for somebody who ain't got no life experience.
It's okay. Forgive yourself and be patient. Trust and turn to God. He's in control of your life when you can't be. Anyway, you can make 1,908 documentaries about me, as I've said, and my past, and the turd chef.
See, and there we are again. Thought you were past all that. Thought you didn't care about none of that. But here you are. You brought it up again.
I don't give a flying crap at all anymore. That I promise you. Again, same crap, different dramatic, cinematic intro, all to study a life I've shared openly myself anyway.
Okay, well, if you've shared it openly, and then why are you so pressed about this documentary then?
I always expose myself because I'm not ashamed to be human.
Yeah, first off, I find that funny coming from a woman who's perpetually trying to rewrite things that were said, things that happened, and things that she did. If you're not ashamed, then why don't you just own it?
I'm not ashamed to admit my life has had many errors and is indeed a speckled axe, but it's also perfectly imperfect.
Okay, ma'am. First off, that analogy is not applicable to you. That analogy is not applicable to you. For those of y'all that are not familiar with the speckled axe, It was based off of a story written by Benjamin Franklin of a man who owned an axe that was very used and worn. He took it to the blacksmith and said that he wanted it made new again, that he wanted the dimpling corrected. The blacksmith agreed and took it to the grindstone and told the man to spin the grindstone. And the harder he pressed that axe to the grindstone, the slower it turned the wheel. And that eventually the man that was spinning the wheel, he realized that he could not sustain what it was going to take for that axe to be perfect. And that realistically, a speckled axe is a sign of a well-honed and utilized tool. And that he accepted it for what it was. Now, the reason that doesn't apply to her is, number one, she's never done an ounce of work a day in her life. There is nothing worn about her for her to accept. I would think as an English major who's had any sort of history reading anything, that at the very least she would have read enough to know that that doesn't apply to her.
And it is my own, and I can't complain. I have a loving family, a few good friends, a loving husband. Yes, there's been a scandal and it's not perfect, but we're giving it a chance, and there's so much good besides that. And it's been so good since that. And if it turns out to be the wrong decision, oh well, I'll move on like I always do.
Cool. We'll be here to watch you lose your shit when it happens.
We have a car, a condo by the ocean, food.
No. He has a car and a condo by the ocean, ma'am.
Pets, travel experience, the freedom to do whatever we want, to travel, and most importantly, I have my faith. I feel rich in many ways, and none have to do with money.
I bet that's the case. Because you ain't seen a dime of that money since he got his hands on it.
You can always make money. Money comes and goes. Anyways, thanks for listening. I will end with saying that I will not be watching any of these new series coming out about me.
Ooh, the lies.
Or any reactions, which I never watch their videos directly anyway, so I have better things to do. Heck, even picking my nose and staring at the wall is more productive than watching someone discuss how I stir a pot for 3 hours or how I walk weird. Anyways, guys, see you in the next video. Bye!
Oh, all right. Let's do a quick run here. Let's see. Girl, she thinks it's impressive. She thinks that is the extent of her editing capabilities at this point. There you go. But we're going to overlook that because he's useful. Right. Exactly. All right. I got one more little piece where I stole some stuff where she responded to Snowflake's video. We're going to breeze through it real fast. And then we'll be done with all this foolishness.
Docu-series experts. You and Amber are regular women just trying to live your life. Literally insane stalker behavior. I mean, the Canadian Horror Story is 3 hours.
That's educational.
Yeah, like, what's the P in that, though? Like, everybody has weird drunken stories. Why does it have to be this big cinematic, dramatic trailer to talk about something that happened 15 years ago when I was drunk? I'm not even that person anymore. That's my point. I don't know. I've told the story myself. If you want to hear the story, go watch it.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Not just the fact that he's going to put all her fuckery on display with a clear view, without all the filler, without all the shoving food into her head, without all the back and forth. He's going to give it clear, concise, and to the point for people to evaluate and develop their own perspective. Her saying, Well, why do you have to watch a documentary to do that? Go watch it on my channel. There. See, she tells on herself. She's not as sly as she thinks she is. She's trying so hard to downplay this. What it is she wants people to go back through her shit and watch her shit to be able to make money off of it. That's all she cares about. But we're going to continue.
Well, buddy, you tried being given like 50 or like at least 12 shots and not have any freaking toilet paper. What the heck were they thinking? They deserve it.
First off, for those of y'all that remember her telling this story, she was already drinking before she got to those people's houses. She said flat out that she was drinking in the taxi to go there. Her saying that she was given the booze. This falls into the same vein of I was made to eat somebody else's hoo-ha. Did nobody make you put that alcohol in your mouth? Did nobody make you swallow it? Nobody sat on your chest, stuck a funnel in your mouth, and poured it down your throat. Again, take responsibility. And the fact that she laughed right there, that's the position on that. That's who Chantal is.
I want to say Cyrax. I think I started when I was doing a Raven Kiwi for Cyrax.
Okay, well, if you don't like Kiwi Farms, I'll give you that. All right.
We got you.
Now, I sent Snowflake a message in his live stream the other night, and I told him outright, I said, you're not going to have to worry about any backlash from her when these videos come out. And I told him, I said, men are her blind spot. I don't know how many of you all saw the entirety of this video. I didn't use this entire video because it was a bunch of bullshit. It was mostly her sitting there smoking. She didn't have a lot to say. Her talking back and forth with the people in the chat. Most of the conversation that went on is about the fact that he's a ginger. And them telling her that he was in love with her. But let's point something out here. If Snowflake were female, number one, she would have never given credit for the fact that he does not use the farms. Number two, she wouldn't have had anywhere near as kind of a response as she did with Snowflake. This is one more example of her being misogynist and the fact that the only people in her mind that have any actual value are men. And in all sincerity, I can almost guarantee you, because I mean, come on now, look at Snowflake. Snowflake is a babe, okay? He is a hottie. And he's got that mellifluous voice. Sala was in a world of hurt after she finished watching that video. The downtown was on fire and there wasn't nobody to put it out.
Shut down. Where's the music? People are loving it. Who was it? Liar, Liar by...
Yeah, Liar, Liar. What am I lying about? I need to see these receipts.
She would deny it even if somebody made a whole list and handed it to her.
Music's amazing.
Where did you get my baby pictures? I'm creeped out. I mean, I know I posted them myself, I guess, but...
Again, if it were a woman, she would be calling her a stalker.
You don't mind listening again.
Yeah, did you hear that? You're the reason Daddy's not here. What the hell is that? Like, that sets a pretty awful stage. Like, you show me as a child and say you're the reason Daddy's not here. So you're basically saying that I'm the reason my father was a deadbeat alcoholic? Like, what the hell?
He likes the song. Go pick.
It's a crappy, stupid song. Emo song sucks.
Lots of fans have helped.
You should listen to
In
Rammstein.
the right direction. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. The people who have helped him are haters. So what kind of biased docuseries is this going to be?
So, yeah, I got to the part where somebody told him to call the cat Alan Penis, and he opened the door and hollered Alan Penis one time, and then was like, I can't. And then he watched part of the Cuba Rage, and then I had to dip. There was something going on. I went outside, so I completely lost track of it. I didn't get to see the kitty, but honestly, just the fact that he was taking care of and feeding a fur baby, I was like, oh, one more reason I like Snowflake. One more reason. He's a good guy. He absolutely is. And the fact that he has the patience to wade through hours and hours and hours of bullshit is just, woo. The dude has the patience of a saint. Real talk. I don't know if I could do all that. Now, videos is one thing. And I got some stuff that I got my mind on that I want to do. I just got to make myself do them. But I don't think I could ever do a documentary. Ever. Not on somebody like that, truth be told. I'm glad I've snapped you back out of La La Land. That's funny. Girl, I know. Gloria, let me ask you something, because talking about the psychopathy thing, you seeing a lot of correlation with her with that? I mean, we went over that at one point. I don't know if you were here for that, but she had a lot of correlating symptoms based on the list that we saw. I do got to ask this. Does that need to be the code word that I need to use whenever you go missing for a few minutes? I don't blame you. Bob's Burgers is awesome. Yeah. I could see that. I don't know, but hopefully Tink is going to be able to give us a little bit more of a perspective on that because of her training and everything. I'll be curious to see. I'm kind of looking forward to that, to be honest with you. I'm really, really looking forward to that. I'm hoping we'll be able to do that soon. I know with Cats is going to send me some info. Like, she's going to write me up some stuff and send me that along with info and everything. And hopefully I'll be able to get that too, so that I can kind of read a little further into it. But I think it'll be fun for us to actually have like a discussion about it, you know. Yeah, I could see that. Hi, Leona. Good to see you. It's okay, honey. It's all righty. That's funny. Holy moly, you guys. There is so much in the basket of BPD. It might help me with my daughter. I'm hoping so. I mean, realistically, that's part of why I want to do it, because, you know, the mental health aspect side of it hasn't been covered a lot. And only the little bit that I've touched on is because, you know, I don't have a in-depth education on that. You know, it's not my specialty. But But I'm hoping that Tinkerbell will be able to help us like illuminate that a little bit and to get a little bit more in detail on it. And I'm hoping, and obviously, it does kind of help everybody not only to understand foodie, but it'll help us kind of understand as a generality. Education is a good thing. Knowledge is power, ladies and gents. I have both BPDs. If you need details about it, I can help behind the scenes. That would be amazing. I will absolutely get with you if I have any questions, okay? Pix, I appreciate you. You are so good to me. Don't know what I would do without you, girl. I really don't. Y'all, I don't know how we managed it, but between ALR and Foodie, we turned a 20-minute clip down video into 3.5 hours. Holy moly. Hey, Jen. It's good to see you. I studied a lot about it after my diagnosis because I wanted to do what I can live with this and not harm myself or others. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And that's the way that I wish everybody would kind of be. They would take the time to stop and learn and apply and all that stuff. Because I do think that the more you know, the better you're capable of helping yourself and actually making your life fuller and richer overall, Bless your heart. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. What? Oh, you were lurking. That's totally fine. I agree. Tokyo would be amazing. They have some of the most beautiful architecture. Beautiful. Looking forward to your collaboration with Tinkerbell. Me too. And I gotta, as soon as we get the fine details and everything worked out, I'm gonna rope Hannibal in because Hannibal's got some experience in that sort of area too. So I think it's gonna be a really great sit down. Everyone love the chat. Make sure you brush your teeth, even if you can't do it for 2 minutes. Do 10 seconds. Self-love is self-love. I agree. All right, gang. So, man, we have made an evening of this. It went by quicker than I expected. Holy moly! So, tell y'all what, I'm going to let y'all go because it is getting late here, which means I know it's getting late other places. And I want you all to be able to get a decent night's sleep so you can wake up and be fully functional, capable adults tomorrow. For those of y'all that have sat with me through this whole foolishness, I wholeheartedly appreciate each and every single one of you. It has been a good time. Without you guys, I would literally be talking to myself, and what fun is that, dollar is so strong against yen. It's a good time for you to visit. I might keep that in mind. I might be spending some time doing some research on a trip later. I'll tell you what'll bite me though. It'll be the flight cost. Yeah. I already know that'll be the worst of it. For those of y'all on the replay, I'm glad you're here. Hope you had a good time. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Hope you guys have a wonderful day tomorrow. Hope you have a fabulous weekend. I will catch up with you guys soon. Take care of you. Hydrate, y'all, because you are basically a houseplant with more complex emotions. Sorry, I had to say it. I love y'all. Night. Bye.